All right. Does anyone remember what happened last time? And if so, could you please give a recap?
Um, they got some nativism moments happening. We try to get rid of it. They wiped them off memory. Then we got called up from the some natives up north, and they want us to do shit for them, of course.
Uh, yeah, there's elements. Yeah, that's not incorrect. Well, I guess it would technically be colonist movement because like they don't like the natives. So,
Hmm.
anyways, uh, um, yeah, there. So you heard there was some issues because the population of Mishann has become a bit with the drow
Cosmopolitan.
coming in. Yeah, yeah, very cosmopolitan. That's what we'll say. Um, and I will put up. Actually, I'll put up the statistics because I wrote it down.
Ooh, I like
And
statistics.
yes, who doesn't? They're really what fill in the game.
Yeah.
Um, but
Oh,
Fucking nerd with your fucking numbers and shit.
this
the
book doesn't
Everest of a
have any dragons
spreadsheet.
in it. This is just fucking math.
Just
Um,
fucking man.
but yeah, you guys found out that there's some issues arising. People were taking issue with the drow moving into the two functional weapon station. They originally they were part of like the walls, so not quite a fort. Um, and yeah, you went to understandably, you decided that um, there would already probably be enough tension without people stirring the pot. So I believe it was Ludger leading the effort in kind of putting together a uh, leaders of the settlement type thing, representatives from each group, so that it wouldn't quickly devolve into conflict or open conflict. And while that was happening, the two people who could claim nobility went and tried to speak with the noblewoman who was running this. She was not open to it too much, and they thought she was a bit suspicious. Um, and Pick, who was also at the place and not at all involved with the discussion, noticed that her dreams, quote, looked odd or strange, and had kind of been planning to stalk the woman before they asked her, but that was a beautiful excuse. So she stalked the woman, but was somehow spotted. And when she very much in a pure pick fashion, like stomp little feet. No, you explain now. The woman apparently did some kind of spell work that blanked Pick's memory for that 10 minutes. And then the party showed up and reported it to the governess, who was concerned but couldn't take any immediate action. And then you guys did some shopping. I don't remember exactly what you bought, but you bought stuff. Um, and the also everybody leveled up first thing. But your downtime period, quote unquote, ended when a lot of soldiers and Cannith engineers arrived to try and fix up this spot here into sort of a little fort that can house what will hopefully be Mishann's, I guess not militia, but definitely, defensive force. And the head of Clan Wayrub, High Lady Wayrub, came to you and said that she, thanks to the ally you guys had made, she was kind of plugged into the Sulatar news network, and she had heard of several conflicts happening with the various clans, and you guys decided that the best one to start on was the um, leader of the greater clan Irnix. Uh, she was looking for clues about the plague, and there's also some issue with the clans under her, but her immediate thing was she wanted um, Uh, I I think I think we added. I think cleric is on your sheet. Let me look. Their characters.
You don't have to look at it right at this moment.
Oh,
I
I
just
don't mind.
realized that it doesn't have the
I have
sheet,
some
or
more.
it doesn't have the spells.
Well, because it says you only. Okay, here. It says you're only at level 5, so I'll that's a factor. So we'll get you to level 6. Next, rogue. Yeah, here we go. So 1 level in cleric, 1 level in rogue. Let me make
I've never multi-classed, so
cleric will be level 6, rogue 5, cleric 1. Yeah, okay, well, that's correct. I might just not have hit finalize. That might have been. So we do that forward. We gain all these things. And then spells and such. Just pick cantrips and level 1 spells and such. Yeah, and it should be in your sheet. And then you'll hit next, and then when you're done, should be finalize. Yeah. Well, we just didn't get to the spell part, but
that's fine.
Anyways, so you guys decided that was the one to deal with, but you wanted to wait a little bit longer in hopes that maybe Miss Suspicious Lady would do something that would give her away. There was a lot of theories from Purser, who, as a suave, globe-trotting agent himself, he's in the know of these things, so he had a lot of things to pull from on who she could be. And yeah, that was kind of where we left off. You guys were gonna hang around and see if anything happened with her. And just so we'll have it ready, which one of the cantrips on the list here looks good pick? Because you should see it in your character sheet if you open it up.
Yeah, I'm looking, but it doesn't give me the list of them. Like what I see is it just has light on there already, and then it has burning hands and fairy fire, but it doesn't give me like the list option of any of them.
Okay, let me scroll back
I
to
don't
it.
know why.
Rogue 5, Cleric 1, that's correct. All right, so we've got Thaumaturgy, Sacred Flame, Resistance, Guidance, Spare the Dying, Light, Mending, Word of Radiance, Toll the Dead, Traveler's Enigma, which I don't recognize that one. What is that?
That's from Chronicles of Eberron.
Oh, okay. Then it's
don't remember what it does offhand. It doesn't
a
do
non-magical
much.
object you touch is transformed into a random trinket.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's fucking Traveler, of course, with the Traveler. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not quite near Silver Flame thing, but whatever. So, what, if any of those sounds good besides light pick? Because I think you get light automatically.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
just going to
assuming.
pop up the list.
I just want to get that handled before we continue on.
I'm just popping up the list so it shows me. Really? You're only going to show me. Well, we just want cantrips.
Burning Hands and Fairy Fire were things you picked on the level up, I assume?
I think they just
Those
automatically
light domain.
assigned. Yeah.
Okay. Let me. Okay. All right. So it's at least showing that you leveled up now. So
My God.
you have 2 other cantrips you can pick and one other, I think one other cleric spell, I guess, or should be more than one other.
What's your wisdom modifier?
That is a good point. Let's see. She's got wisdom. It's 1. So
Okay,
should be
so she can prepare 2 spells.
okay. Yeah. So 2 cleric spells and two other cantrips besides light. Which bring up
I
spell.
guess.
Oh, light is also from light domain.
I'm
That's
assuming actually. Let me check.
yeah. So it'll be 3 cantrips in addition
Yeah,
to
yeah.
light.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Oh, three more. Okay, nice.
Mhm.
All right, so you got some
I
cantrips.
guess
That's good.
I'll take guidance.
Okay.
Spare the
Guidance.
dying. And sacred flame, I suppose.
Okay. And spare the dying, sacred flame. Okay, added. Okay, I will get rid
Thanks.
of those blank ones there. And for my own sake, I will. 1 second, I'm just going to put guidance above light just for my own bitchiness. And you have Burning Hands and Fairy Fire come with the subclass. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Those
you
are
have
domain spells.
who was it? 2 or 1 other cleric spell ready?
2.
2. Okay. So 2 first
Uh,
level cleric spells.
Cure
Great.
wounds and healing word.
Cure wounds, healing. All right, nice. Okay. Cure wounds and healing word.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Healing word. There we go. Okay, and I'll get rid of the blank one at the top.
I don't know why the speak with dead is on there, but that was on there too.
That's ritual.
Okay.
It's anybody with the background can cast it if you're on the southern half of the island.
Okay.
The island is that in tune with the plane of the dead, or well, certain areas. Yeah, but okay. So with that, we've got everybody ready. Let's see here. Okay, so how did you want to go about stalking Miss Azura?
Well, Pick would say if I was sent to stalk her, obviously it did not work for me. I could try again.
I wasn't even really interested in stalking her since we're going to be leaving soon anyway. I mainly just wanted to stick around and see if she did do something crazy, like
Okay.
start rounding up lizard folk in the street or something. We're here
That's
to like see if that happens.
okay. Okay, that's fair. So you're just keeping an eye on her pulse of the town. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Well then that simplifies it. Yeah,
I
just kind of lingering. And I would say even if you're like not actively stalking her, she's not hiding really what she does. Um, the 3 days produce less dramatic results than you might have hoped for. For a noblewoman, this noblewoman is she's quite the homebody, only leaving her magical estate in the morning and evening. Both times she heads directly to the Lucky Moon Inn, where she speaks with a tavern keeper, a man named Lorenzo Daver, before ordering a meal from the waitress, a flirtatious woman you've all met when you were here, named Nina Decker. And I will put up those NPCs. I might have put them up before now, but this is as good a time as any. Images, NPCs. Mishann, here we go. Lorenzo. Here we go. And Nina. No, I didn't want. Here we go. Yeah. The Azora speaks with Nina more than she does Lorenzo, but she doesn't exactly dawdle with either of those people. She eats either breakfast or dinner, then goes around Mishann, usually visiting various businesses before walking around the entire radius of the settlement, probably for exercise, before returning to her estate. she doesn't go around trying to rally up folk or like threateningly read verses from sovereign holy books at the drow or anything like that. Yeah, she doesn't seem to do anything immediate. But yeah, 3 days go by with just the place carrying on with its newest influx of people. Which I will say, Mishann is absolutely a hive of activity right now. It's just constant construction, all hours of day and night. Everybody is building and building and building. It's kind of reached that critical mass stage where, like, the people who are here are busy trying to build up stuff. People who just got here are working with friends or relatives to try and start build their own homes.
And the lizard
It's
folk are just doing their thing down south.
Yeah, they seem fine in, at least at the moment, in the like kind of makeshift stuff that you've set them up with. There are some complaints they'd prefer to be farming or, living in a proper place, not this weird stone place where the ground itself has been stuck with stone. But they don't mind that too much. They do like the fishing. They like some of the stuff you guys have. They like the um, some of the types of alcohol. Although a lot of them claim their kinds are a little more potent. Um, but yeah, they're actually getting along okay with the fishermen. To be honest, they're probably getting along better than the drow, who are very.
I
They
wonder
kind of
why.
Sketchy.
stay in their own places.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine why.
Yeah, it's yeah, they do interact, they do trade. Um, there's not hostility, but they're just not really used to interacting with like other people who are not drow, frankly. Um, so yeah, but it's other than the colonists' issues, the drow themselves don't seem to be trying to pick any fights. Although there have been some stuff that have arose just from differences in thought processes, and some of their attitudes towards lizard folk. But you guys have been pretty good about keeping them apart, so it hasn't really come to a fore. Um, but yeah, is there anything besides linger? Kind of keep tabs on that lady. I guess not stalk her, but yeah, just I told you what you find for keeping tabs. Anything else you want to do for a couple days?
Mm,
I think I'm good.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, for Ludger, it's just the same old trying to prop stuff as much as possible, so hopefully a dumpster fire doesn't break out while we're gone.
Yeah, yeah. I want you to pinky swear. It's very important. Pinky swear. You don't try any blood feuds. Yeah, that type of thing. Um, but yeah, at this 3 days go by and it's pretty clear nothing's gonna happen right away. Um, Probably time to get going. Even with the Riptide, you're gonna need to buy rations for at least 10 days worth of travel. Um, is that assuming you just go right there and back, which is 5 gold. And prepare for a few days in the jungle, um, from river to Clanhold, or at least a few days on the road. Your your uh, your drow nobles do say that where you're going is kind of the breadbasket of their city state, so it's not a lot of just jungle for once. You'll be on roads, um, but yeah.
Okay, I
I
buy
guess
11 rations, so that way now I have 20, just in case.
okay, yeah, fair enough. I know Ludger eats a lot, as humans
Mhm.
do. Uh, uh,
Cookie Monster in it. Nom 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 nom.
uh, yeah. Um, but yeah, once you guys are stocked up, did you want you were talking about getting a crew for the ship, and I don't remember if anything went that way.
I
You don't
think it
technically need one, it's just if you want one.
right. I think we're fine for now, but I think in the future we're gonna need to get some like specialized people to just man the ship
Okay, fair enough.
so that we don't have to
Yeah.
be the only ones using it all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know,
And
keep it running while we're not on board, and
yeah, so it's not like 3 people left on board or 1
yeah.
person. Yeah. Really hope no one attacks. I did want to say that so each one of your homes, I guess besides Purser, has a upkeep, and I thought honestly, for everyone's sake, I would just do the yearly cost all at once because it's less than 20 gold, and I think everyone can afford that at this point. Um, I will put the yearly cost here, and you guys can subtract that, and then I will mark down the date that you paid it, so there's no issue.
Okay.
Is that something everybody's besides Purser willing to do?
Yeah.
Glad besides me, because I literally cannot afford anything like that. I have 0 money.
I mean, you could have spent the 3 days trying to, helping out with the fishing or construction, or
Nope. I got
no,
more important things to do.
yeah, and it's not
I
AC out there.
am short the silver and copper.
Oh, okay.
So
Pick will
I think
cover
you
the
guys
silver and
could
copper. I have
probably
50
pull
gold,
from
so
party funds.
yeah,
she puts almost all her gold in party funds. She just has 50 gold just in case. But I'll
Yeah.
pay.
Yeah, Ludger pays a
Okay.
little bit extra.
Yeah, there's no need for
Um,
extra. This is just literally upkeep cost for house to keep house function. All right, pick.
Paid for the year.
Yep.
She paid 20, so covering other people's silver and copper.
Okay.
Whoever needs it.
I will put date here. And pick Ludger paid for year. One sec, I have to check this. Oh, why do I have that open? Mishann, here we go. Calendar. Just were okay, that's it. Pick paid for year on that date. Ludger paid for year. Bemi paid for year. Balthazar, are you gonna pay for upkeep on your gorgeous new home, which, if you'll notice, is on the map?
I don't have any money.
You guys split some. Wait a minute. I know you guys got money. You
Oh,
had
I got
items you
25
sold.
gold now. I have 25
We-
gold, my bad.
We haven't sold them yet. We're
Okay.
like sending them off to Sharn.
Well, yeah, you're sending the artifacts. The magic items you could have sold at Nat's shop. That's
Oh,
my mistake, I guess. You don't have to. Like I legit thought you were selling one of the rings or something. That's my bad. I miscalculated there. It's not
I
gonna
have
well,
hurt your home much.
I did suggest we could sell the ring of poison resistance because no one seemed to be
Right.
really jumping on it. But I think someone also said they would take it. So
Okay, that's what threw me. All right, my bad, my bad. I was like, okay, they're flush with cash. This is the best time for it. All right.
I have
It's not gonna
25
hurt the
gold,
house
so
to not pay that. Like it's not like functional house at the moment for all intents
yeah,
and purposes.
yeah.
for how much is for maintenance again?
It's 19 gold, 2 silver, 5 copper. And that's the year
I'll
paid
give
up, so
you. All right, I will empty my bank account when we first turn off the unlock.
I'll have
So
to start
19
giving guys
gold,
cash directly.
5 silver, 2 copper. You said.
Oh, and you can also like the giant coins, you can pay with those. You didn't need to send those to Sharn. You can pay with those directly.
I'll just pay out the gold. I have my actually on my character.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
You know, Cursor and Balthazar, despite being the party nobles, going around everyone asking us for free fitty.
Listen, sometimes if you're living a good noble life, that doesn't mean you have money. It just means you have status. Like, That's if anything, you should be spending any money you get. Like that's just common sense if you're a noble. Um, I mean, that's just my opinion. But regardless, you guys you've prepped for a couple days of travel. You come back from Nat's shop where you would purchase it, and the fortune teller, who came in month before last, Oust, approaches you. As always, he's wearing darkened glasses, despite it being almost night at this point. He looks over you and says, I would speak with your group regarding the fate of this place. And whoever wanted to be buying supplies can be buying supplies. He's just making a general statement to that person.
You got 3 seconds before Bevy says something stupid.
Luger will be party diplomat.
Okay. Yeah, he looks around. Is it just Ludger or is it Ludger and Bemmy? I'm assuming Bemmy's there because he was
Yeah,
ready to talk.
Bevy can be there because I was like, I'm about to say something dumb. Someone better say something.
Thank you, Bemmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, he'll just tell both of you. He says, I have recently seen a calamity coming that will befall Mishann. The culprit is here, plotting destruction. You have found this person, but not their true face. They will grow more desperate as their plots fail. Hold their wrath at bay with the Watcher of Bronze. His guilt will shield you, but only if you nurture it.
His guilt will shield you.
The hell's a clam mini?
There is no reply from
Um, I thank him for his warning, I guess.
That's fair, yeah. He just nods at that and says, This is all of the aid I can provide without causing more harm. I wish you luck. Mishann must thrive if the beggar prince is to be crowned in the shadow of Sulcas. And without any explanation, turns around and walks back to his tent.
That was weird.
And
I don't
I'm
know
s-
either, Bentley. I don't know either.
I mean, look, I ain't got no problem sitting here listening to some person come up and say, hey, there's some scary shit going on, cause me and mom used to tell me about scary stuff. But I don't know. It's like I ain't never seen him before. And he comes on up here, starts talking at me. Bemmy's just gonna keep droning on and on.
yeah. And yeah, it's up to you guys if like whoever was there can tell anybody else who wasn't there, or if it's just that weird fortune teller guy who showed up, said he was arriving from Sharn, because he quote needed to be here.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you all the time.
Yep. And while this is happening, Balthazar's is enjoying a dinner.
Yeah,
Everyone's really
yeah, that's
whatever time
fair.
it is.
But yeah, with that cheerful farewell, um, you guys can get ready the next morning to set out, or you could sail at night. You could go back to night travel if you want Bemmy to be happy. You don't,
Good.
you
I
don't
got
have
I
to.
got I got the goggles of day walking for a reason. So
It's not
sorry.
day boating, is it?
Up to you
No, it's
guys.
not. It's not day boating.
His guilt will shield you.
Think maybe he's talking about that angel guy or that real other scary guy who we woke up with that cult. Because they both be pretty desperate. if you think about it, you know.
Ninja guy was never desperate. He would tell you that. He was.
Isn't the Watcher of Bronze that dragon that we met in the city? Or well,
Oh yeah.
didn't meet him, but I guess
That
Bemmy met
sounds
him.
right. Yeah. Yeah, Bemmy's met him before.
Well, we spoke to his kitty cat. But
In your backstory, you'd spoken with him before.
That's-
Mima would occasionally
that's-
send you to like tell him off.
that's
It's-
true, but as a party, we spoke to the
Yeah,
kitty
yeah,
cat.
it's true. Yep.
The culprit is here, plotting the destruction. You have found them, but not their true face. It is probably the creepy lady.
No, almost certainly.
No man, just shoot her.
She
Might
is
be good.
statted.
You could check her
do that.
face.
Prophecies from strange beggars in the street are hardly culpable
You
pieces
know,
of
ba-
evidence.
Yeah, they're no
No.
basis for a form of government.
So no.
No, Bemmy.
Alright.
As funny as it would be to sneak into
Not
her
yet.
house tonight and shank her to death.
No. Do you want to be like Mima?
I don't know how to be like anything else.
We don't kill people that don't deserve it.
Okay.
And we need evidence when we do.
Well, I don't know. She comes up in here and she's like, "Hey, you see a good friend? Cha cha, I'ma just take her memories away." I don't know. That makes me a little worried.
I'll tell you what, Bemmy. If she goes to take your memories, you can shoot her.
And what if I don't remember?
We will stick together. No one goes through the city alone.
Fine.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine all this is like, did you? So the people who were there probably went to, I guess, the inn if Balthazar was having like. There's not a lot of places to eat, so Balthazar was having dinner. Purser was probably having dinner as well, and you're just like, you sat
just
down
had a-
and ruined their
you
meal
just-
with this.
He just showed up with a sandwich and he's just eating while watching this shit happen.
But yeah, nothing else of note happens unless you guys make it happen. And yeah, the sun rises in the next morning, and the Riptider is ready to go when you are. It's I mean, it's big enough you can just kind of park it anywhere, and as long as it doesn't like tip over, you're good. It's easier to tether to the tower than it is the actual docks. A lot of the fishermen were nervous about it. The lizard folk like it. A lot of them like when you do go to it in the morning. There's a lot of like just seemingly animalistic symbols painted on the sides of it. Just the lizard folk kind of painted the sides of it for good luck. But yeah,
How quaint.
it is not a restrained.
I like it.
Like it very, very eye-wateringly bright colors that have been smeared on this thing. But it does give it a distinct look.
What do the symbols mean, GM?
Mostly it's pseudo pictograms, but there are some actual words in Draconic. Mostly like freedom boat or wrath of the sea's ancestors, things like that. Either like things that sound probably a lot better in Draconic, but lose some of their magic when directly translated, as well as references to the lizard folk and their pseudo ancestor worship.
It is
But-
good paint.
If as you guys board the Riptider, you look up to see the billowing clouds that all of you have learned to recognize as an indicator of impending rain. It seems like it's going to be a rainy day.
It's gonna
And
rain.
that's true. Who, if anyone, do you guys want to have with you for this journey?
No, certainly the the drow leaders that I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Lady Wayrub and Lord Olenquai.
Olenquai.
Yes. It was Old and
Ooh.
Quiet that I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, definitely those two.
Okay. And they would bring their luckless head mage, much to her objections, because she can cast sending and she can also pilot the ship if there's issues, because neither of them are casters. So, where is she? Oh wait, I have it under Drow. No wonder it wasn't showing up. Sulitar. Kelsa. Yeah, Kelsa Ellie. Kelsa Ellie. Yeah, you're going with Adrian, aka Lord Olenquai, and Lady Wayrub, because she hasn't asked anyone to call her by her first name yet. She seems a little more formal. But okay, so you've got 3 other people. That's, I think, the group you had with you before. Anybody else?
Hmm.
It sounds as if I gravely miscalculated in coinage that I have given you. So probably you cannot hire a crew at the moment.
Yeah. None of that Purser would suggest, but Dan would say maybe a couple lizard folk as just like extra muscle.
They would be willing to go with you. They everything is personal. Like they don't
Mhm.
thank Mishann or the Silver Flame or whatever you guys would represent for their freedom. They thank you guys directly. So as far as they're concerned, yeah, you could ask all the lizard folk and most of them would be happy to do it.
Like I said, it's not something that Purser would do, I think. He's a bit of an asshole.
I mean, it's maybe, but that's a kind thing, like to not bring them with you as possible cannon fodder. Anything happens, it's always going to hit the fucking NPCs. It's just the rules. Even if the DM's
He's
not
just
trying to.
that kind of like benign light racism.
Yeah, that's fair. And yeah, I get that.
He doesn't actually dislike them or anything. It's just he's not going to go out of his way to like
They're
treat.
foreign and strange, and they probably don't even know about the Silver Flame. Yeah, I get you.
It's not even anything metaphysical like that. It's just he'd prefer to approach like hardworking Syrian people first, and he wouldn't even consider it as an option until like last resort.
I got you.
But
Yeah, the downside with Sirens is they're gonna ask for pay and stuff.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I think we'll be fine. Although, on that note, I would like to ask the rest of the party if it's okay for me to dip into party funds to buy some scribing materials.
Ooh, you want pen and paper? I don't know, man. I don't know. Can we afford it?
Oh, we definitely can. We have a lot of money in the party funds.
That's why I was so caught off guard by you guys. I got nothing, man. I'm turning out my pots, motherfuckers. It's like I know you've had money.
We don't have personal funds.
We haven't been to the
Exactly.
bank, man.
The same man, we should have fucking looted their bank while we're leaving.
Hey, that was the merchant group. You could have definitely done that.
Guys,
I
we're
mean,
going back.
yeah.
What's some of our handiwork?
I make no promises of what happens if you guys go back. But yeah, I mean that seems like reasonable to me, but that's a party decision. I can't officially say anything.
Yeah, get out of here! Smacking you with the newspaper.
I gotta find the party loot thing and see how much we actually got.
We have 437 gold, 1,043 silver, and 1,480 copper.
Am I blind? Where is that?
My God.
It's in the spreadsheet. I'll relink it.
Which is...
Give me a second.
Mishann party
Ask
stuff?
Sam
Is
to
that?
pin it as well.
Mishann party stuff is blank, other than the list of goodies.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. Apologies if I didn't pin it. I thought I did. Here, I will
There,
pin
just
it
put
now.
it in the party loot chat.
Pin message. Okay, there you go. Now it's pinned properly.
Awesome.
I think you guys can probably afford some pen and paper for sound. It sounds like it from that. I don't know. Shut up, DM. We're saving.
It'll be 3 coppers too rich for my blood.
That's going to be a little bit more than 3 copper.
See, so maybe we can't afford it.
Wizards and their money problems.
It's going to be 200 gold.
Gotta find yourself a good sugar daddy, man. That's what I did in the Dark Sun game.
Yeah,
Yep.
get a warlock. Become a warlock.
No, I mean a literal like another player bankrolls my wizard bullshit. Fucking
Yeah.
party cleric gives me money all the time. I
Yeah,
feel
I've also
bad.
been using the party funds to restock our
Yeah,
potions of healing and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good
Ludger's.
idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ludger's fine with party funds going towards like our spellcaster being better at spellcasting shit.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got 3 in favor. I'm assuming Purser's in favor.
Yes.
How much were
Bemmy?
health potions again?
They're 25 gold each.
Yes. I will actually put that in because that's a common question.
Yep.
And I
It's,
actually wrote it
there's
down.
party inventory. Okay.
Okay.
So Ludger would want to use party funds to get a healing potion for himself, just as basically in case he goes down, or has to help someone
So,
else.
I don't know, man.
SOP,
I don't know if that's company
everybody
funds.
has a
Have a
health
potion. Bam.
as an IFAC. We all need an IFAC.
That is true.
Does anyone else need any emergency potions? I have 5 left after giving one to Ludger.
Pick has 1, but I think she's okay now that she can heal a little bit.
I'll take a potion.
Okay.
Okay.
And those are standard potions, right?
Yep.
Which is lesser. I forgot what the basic ones are called.
It's
If
just
you
potion
guys
of healing.
If you guys want to make money quick, I will say those are especially humans.
Yeah, just rob the clan house that we don't like.
No, just down the river, in Gwenedcull, the head of the clan there, he is doing trials on stuff like medical alchemy trials. So if you're willing to volunteer for testing of potions, that
I'm gonna kill
hey,
this guy sooner or
you'd
later. I
walk
don't
away
want
with coin in hand.
I'd rather kill him.
That's the
No.
harder to do.
For now.
Yes, for now. Okay. And Balthazar, are you okay with wizard nerd money?
Sure.
Yeah, over
Okay.
the course of this campaign, I am going to be the biggest money sink.
Yeah,
Wizards suffer.
I may be the second sink because monks kind of do need a good chunk of magic items.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. I try to provide them, but yeah, buying them is definitely an option, and I've completely reevaluated costs of everything. I really tried to drop costs so that it makes some sense. But anyways, so you can purchase some scribing stuff, so you can do your bookie book stuff, and
Excellent.
some healing potions have been distributed. Is there anything else you guys want to do before setting, sail, kind of?
Nope. Purser's
Cool,
good.
cool.
He's just going to spend the rainy day under the deck, just scribbling in his book and testing out magic.
Okay, cool.
I think okay, I did do the woodcarver's tools. Perfect.
Nice. Yeah, I remember you purchased some last time, so you should have all that. If you do not, just add it. I know you gave up money for it, so you should have it.
Yep. And then apparently, I guess I need to collect phosphorus moss
Okay.
because I am just looking at for light. You need.
No, no. You have a
have
holy symbol.
Okay.
holy symbols satisfy material requirements that don't have a cost.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's like a diamond worth, 250 that is going to be expended or something, then you need
Then
that.
we're good.
But yeah, otherwise just use your little symbol.
Yay.
But yeah, by the end of the first day, as you guys set out, or yeah, first hour, the rain has started. Not quite near the flood levels that hit further east, but still heavy enough to thoroughly soak anyone on deck, on the top deck in under a minute. Here. One sec. Do I actually have? Oh, I think I do. All right. Let's see what this sounds like. Assuming this won't get me copyright struck. All right. Yeah. So it's heavy, rainy day. The rain keeps up all day, swelling the river and driving much of the wildlife to seek shelter. You pass by a few gigantic crocodiles lying on what have now become the riverbanks before you pass by Gelroll. But they, other than like having to move, they don't really seem bothered by the additional moisture. They crocodiles. By the end of the first day, as the ship's charge is waning, you have reached Muldsar Lake. And I will put you further along here. It's smooth surface, broken by the rain. Clear blue waters turn slightly choppy. It's no hindrance at all to the Riptider, but the haze does limit visibility. You will run out of charge before you actually get to Gwynedd Cull, just like last time when you came along here. Do you want to just kind of try and quote-unquote dock out in the water, or do you want to try and find convenient little natural inlet like last time?
I think an inlet's for the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You have been here before, so it is with advantage. Someone give me a survival check.
Good.
Good spot.
I got you.
Guess I can give it a shot.
Will aid.
Okay. 17. Yep, it is not difficult. You actually, if you want to use it, you find the same spot. You might be a little leery about that because of the electric jellies, but it's pretty easy to find a number of, if not quite big enough, close to big enough spots to kind of at least have the ship get near the edge, so it doesn't get swamped by waves or horrible lake monsters. But yeah, the sun is just about set by the time you find it. And do you guys want to do any kind of night watch, or you're in the water? What could happen?
Might watch.
Night
Pick
watch?
doesn't
Okay.
sleep, so she'll watch. Though she
Okay.
might be up,
I know
still
you have to
fascinated
have
with
like
occasionally.
an equivalent of rest period, but I don't know how much it is exactly.
You just have to be
Thrygreen.
still.
Right. They did a weird compromise. That's what I was trying to remember. Okay, so Pick, you can just kind of flutter up and I don't think this thing has a crow's nest. Let me look at the map. I don't think it has a crow's nest. You could oh, that's what you could rest on top of. The elemental rings that are around it, like the elemental
Of the
binding rings.
struts.
Yeah, like the weird struts. You could flutter up and rest on top of that.
Okie dokie.
Just avoid the like roiling ring of elemental just swirling around at Mach 5.
Yeah, it's like sitting on top of like a generator in like a dam or something. It is incredibly loud, and if you fall sideways, you'll get sucked in. But it's up, it's up to you. You could also sit on top of the crane, now that I think on it, for a significantly less terrifying spot.
That's probably the better
yeah.
spot.
Okay, you must sit still, refrain from strenuous activity during a long rest. Okay, so main conscious. Yeah. So basically you have to just sit still on top of it.
Yep.
Do you guys want to have anybody else have help Pick, or do you want just Pick handling Night Watch?
It'll be Pearl.
Pearl? Okay.
So I say, Ludger doesn't mind taking a shift.
Okay, yeah, just 2 eyes. Well, more than 6 eyes are better than 2.
I'm just saying I have dark vision and I can see real far. So
He can,
Yeah.
yeah, and he only
Oh.
needs 4 hours of trance, and then he can be as active as he wants.
Yep.
So probably
got
a
you.
later shift for Bemmy. So Ludger for first one. Pick is just around. I think you can default take the second one if you want.
Yeah.
There's any of them you can fill
Or
in
help.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have a
Oh yeah,
herding
Pearl.
black kitty helping, and then we have Bemmy handling the last 4 hours. So cool. All right. So yeah, you guys set up for the watch. Then in that case, Ludger, give me perception check with advantage.
All right.
It is still raining. It's tapered off a little bit, but it's kind of miserable up here. It's relatively warm rain on the upside compared to back home in Karnath, where it's like half frozen all the time. Okay. Yeah, you're able to watch the sun fully go down. It's surprisingly peaceful, at least this time of night. The rain seems to mute a lot. Maybe there's definitely wildlife active, but you're just far enough away from shore. You don't see or hear much of it. Occasional amphibian chirping, calling out, things like that. But yeah, nothing really noteworthy happens during your watch. Just pouring rain.
Uh, yeah. Basically, just stand to.
Just like wave up a
Occasionally, like
pick.
wave up a pick. Occasionally, like take a look over the side of a boat, make sure like shit's not crawling up it. But
Yeah,
after
that's fair.
his 2 hours pass, basically wakes up the next person and like finds a dry spot to you know basically change his clothes and finds a dry spot to like
Feel
you
better.
know
Yeah.
yeah
I mean, the upside about this ship, one of the many upsides, is that below deck, it is like you could fit some houses in here. There's plenty of dry space below deck. Um, so yeah, that's pretty easy to get out of the rain. In that case, Pick, go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage as the, I'm sure very happy, like summoned cat stalks around the ship in the pouring rain. Um, yeah, Pick. You like watching from your perch, the soaked moth person. You don't see anything either. Do you have
I'm
like a
assuming she may have picked her
blanket?
storm leaf.
Yeah, or something.
If she knew when it was going to rain, she picked a storm leaf so she can have her good little leaf burrito.
That's fair. Yeah. At this point, it's getting a little draggled, but it's still
Floppy.
kind of doing its job. But yeah, it's during your watch with a 19, you don't notice anything. And I will say at this point, the rain is starting to taper off officially by the end of your watch, so to speak, of your watch.
Hey.
And yeah, it's the night has returned to calmness.
She'll go get Benny.
Okay. Bemmy, if you are willing to help pick out and take your watch there, just give me a perception check with advantage.
Yep. Pick up Poil, put her in my jacket with her little head sticking out of my collar. And yeah, maybe do a stretch because I've been meditating on my knees or trancing or whatever. Why can't I find you?
Nope. Yeah.
Hold on a sec. I'm sorry, everybody.
Very good.
I got to refresh roll 20.
That's fine. I'd roll, but that I'm always terrified of what happens when I roll for players.
There we go.
Yeah, how'd you get 2 nat ones? It's not my fault.
You roll for the you roll for the rat encounter.
We got.
Okay,
I also
16.
got. I got a passive perception of 19 too, so I don't know. Whatever.
Pretty
you wanna
good.
do.
Pretty good one way or another. But yeah, the night rain has officially stopped by the time you come up on deck. Pick, I imagine you just flutter back up to your designated spot and like sit there staring. Um, The
Yeah,
sounds
like
of
the
the lake,
weirdo she is.
yeah, sounds of the lake slowly ramp up as the rain fades away. Croaking of frogs, chirping of insects, the occasional roar of a predator from the nearby jungle. Clearly, everything's coming back out, going about its business. Um, as the moonlight reflects off the metal of the ship's deck, you spot out of the corner of your eye, Bemmy, a humanoid figure seems to grow from the edge of the deck, or at least just a little bit beyond the edge of the deck.
And I'm in the crow's nest at this point.
It's
Like,
wherever you want to be. I imagined you were wandering around deck, but there is no crow's
yeah,
nest.
okay, no, that's better. All right, then I will approach the man.
Okay. So approaching the figure, you can see that while they're partially translucent in the moonlight, it does have a feminine form. It like as you're approaching, you see how it kind of just grew there. It seems to be either made of or standing on top of like a pillar of water that just sort of stretched up. Um, and seeing you walking towards it, it sort of steps off that onto the deck with an inquisitive expression. Um, it waves its hand in the air and calls out in a voice that sounds like running water. And I no, Bemmy, you do not understand it. Pick, you would probably see this also from your perch. Um,
Does it look like dead person?
it looks like person. I will post an image. Game images. There we go. Images. Do the thing. There it is.
Oh,
She'll telepathically reach out and be like, "Hello there."
When you don't answer aloud, like she does hear something, but she kind of pouts and looks around, and you and Bemmy both hear a voice responding in you guys' heads, similar to how, Pick usually goes about her talking. Um, you hear, fine, nobody ever understands when I talk like that anyways. You can hear me?
yeah. I mean, you sound a lot running water, so I
You
don't
don't listen
understand.
right, that's why you couldn't hear.
I'm
Uh,
sorry, I don't speak correct.
she smiles and like claps her hands together. But your floating thing is much bigger than the ones like the elves use. Do you know Narasov? Do you know Narasov? Where is he?
No, and I don't know.
And she just kind of like looks at you, Pick. Are you still up on the crane, or have you fluttered over, or are you just
She's still up on the
staying on?
crane so far.
Okay, yeah. So she kind of like squints and waves at you, Pick. And do you know Narasov?
I don't think so.
I just
What are
realized.
they?
I love that, like, of the people she got, he did not get the most coherent answers. Uh, uh, like at both of you saying you don't know who the oh, she just looks really like disappointed. I was hoping you might. He used to come visit me in a ship like this one. He was very
That
kind, Sometimes we would talk at night, like until the sun came up.
that sounds like a good friend. I am sorry he is not here.
He's never here.
You are welcome to stay and talk with us.
We won't talk about.
Well, usually we would talk about the water and the other things in it, but the waters have gotten very murky and hard, hard to do things in since the elves can't moved in.
Do the elves look like me?
Well, yes.
Mm.
What else would they look like?
Mm.
There are lighter ones.
None of the ones I've seen.
They are new.
Oh, well, no, I haven't seen any of those.
There are also many other strange looking people that are coming.
Are any of them big? Narasef was big. You were all not big.
Well, they are very big to me, but it is perspective. Was he a giant?
He was big.
Like, how tall? Is he as tall as this ship?
Oh, no, not the whole ship. He was like up to there. And she points up like roughly to where the elemental binding strut is. So definitely a giant.
Ah,
That's pretty tall. That's pretty.
Like 20 plus feet.
giant. It must have been a long time ago.
Was it? It
Yeah,
didn't seem that long.
I bet time is different for water.
What's it like being water?
Well, it's nice when people aren't dumping things in it.
That's yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind all the things living and doing stuff, but dumping things in is especially mean if you're not even going to be in the water, you know?
Mm,
Mean.
yeah. Yeah.
Would you be willing to help people know how to do better for the water, or just tell them not to put stuff in?
Well, that is doing better. What else would you say?
I don't know. Things that they could do that would not impact you so much. Because there are going to be many people moving. It seems like there's no end of them coming.
That sounds awful. And she just kind of blinks once or twice. Like she doesn't seem to fully grasp what you're implying. Like she's just like, stop putting stuff in. How hard is that? um, she may be a bit inherently limited in what she can do. Bemi and I guess Pick to a certain extent, but definitely Bemi. Both of you give me a Arcana or Religion check, whichever you'd prefer.
Arcana or religion?
Yes.
Well, there's Arcana's at a 0 and religion's at a 0. We'll go with Arcana.
Hey, look at
Hey!
that flat roll. And that's not bad either, really, for just +1. Um, yeah, Pick, you're like it must be hard being water.
Yeah.
But Bemi, you're fairly certain. Like at first, you thought maybe she's just like one of the big water things that they locked in those struts. But usually they talk different. Like if that was the case, then what she was saying earlier, you'd have been able to kind of understand. Because
Mhm.
primordial, like there's a rough accent, but you actually your crick isn't great, but you can talk crick. Um, she wasn't talking crick. She was talking something like it's really like flowing and sounds fancy and has a lot of words in it. Um, you're not sure exactly what it is, but you're fairly certain she is a fae, which they can be tied to things, but Meemaw told you that they're definitely very different than elementals. And she kind of chuckled when she said that. And she said, you should be careful about fae. Who knows how strange they can get in different places? And then she laughed again for a long time.
That's unsettling.
Yeah, Mima would do that
Par for the
sometimes.
course. Par for the course, yeah.
She's a woman with a fine sense of humor. She would do these long dramatic laughs sometimes.
Okay, so are you just here looking for your friend?
Well, yeah, it was. You had a big ship. He came on big ships.
Mm.
The elves sometimes say things, but there's never anything fun. They usually
Well,
don't talk. You've been talking, though. That's nice.
yeah. Well, sometimes I talk too much, some people say. I just keep talking because I'm
A little
trying to
bit.
think of something to say,
That's
but I
okay.
can't. Oh, all right.
I do that too sometimes. It's hard.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep talking? The sun's coming up soon.
We can keep talking till the sun comes up. You can stay here all you want.
Okay.
You are
Uh,
always welcome if you see our ship.
You ain't
okay.
hurt nobody.
Right. No. Well, it's easier to talk if we're like, do you want to talk after the sun comes up?
We can talk whenever you want.
We
Oh,
may not be here
great.
very long.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I would it'd be better if you were.
I
Do you
come.
want to if you're in the water, then we can just talk then.
The water is not good for my wings. It is hard for me to go in there, but it is very pretty.
No. Well, you could come talk with me in the water.
I could, but I have some place to be and I gotta stay dry.
And give me a persuasion check. She seems pretty insistent.
A persuasion check?
Yeah. See if she
She
believes
14.
wants to
you.
lure you into the water.
That's why I'm like, I need to stay dry.
It's a scary fae.
Maybe not deliberately, but okay, let's see if she believes you. Okay. He just looks absolutely crestfallen at that, but does seem to believe you. Oh, well, if you have to stay dry, I guess you can stay here then. That's really sad. Uh, I guess I'll keep looking for someone to talk with me for longer. I'm gonna go then.
You
It
And
gotta
was nice to
she,
stay
meet you.
here? Okay.
mm-hmm. And she wanders off the edge of the ship, and you guys hear a splash below.
She was pretty, Bemmy.
Yeah, she's made of water.
Which is neat.
I don't think
Yeah.
What do you
Bemmy's
think she
been wrong
was?
very much. Like he's usually objectively correct in these things. She made of water. Yeah, that's true.
She's made of water. Yeah, she was. She's made of water.
uh,
Yeah, she pretty, but I mean, I don't know. I've never met her before, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to go swimming?" And I'm like, "I don't know if we've reached that point yet." So
Well, she is water person, so perhaps swimming is like having first conversation.
yes, but
It
I
is
don't
not so
know.
forward for her.
Meemaw said that sometimes Faye you need to be careful around Faye, and I don't know. Like I bet she swim better than me. So if I went into the water and her swimming better than me, she put me under the water until I stopped kicking. And I don't want that to happen.
Very dark. Maybe she wasn't mean, but it is possible she could be. Better
I,
safe.
I just met her today. So
Yeah, Faye can be scary. We can tell the others. Maybe Purser knows what it is.
yeah. Oh, did we get a name? Dang nabbit.
neither of you asked her name. She didn't ask her yours either.
Are Faye weird about
Probably a
names?
good thing.
You don't want to give Faye your name. you don't want to give Faye your name.
Okay, I will not.
But yeah, nothing else happens the next few hours as the sun rises and rises
Pick
on a new
very
day.
Pick very enthusiastically takes some of that time to show Bemmy she can turn things on to lamp and cast light cantrip.
Okay, so you're just going around and like finding random lengths of chain to become lamp, or
Yeah,
like
she's just like, look at this.
give me arrow Bemmy. Okay, turns it bright light.
She's very excited about this. She does not show him more than twice, but she does enthusiastically show him twice.
I feel like
Twice.
Bemmy, you finally got a chance to take off those goggles because they make your eyes feel funny, and it's like finally I'm out at night. There's no really blinding lights or anything. Look what I can do! Just immediately turns on a floodlight next to your eyes.
My eyes. My retinas.
She would feel bad, but she'd be like, it was just very excited, Bemmy. I'm sorry. I can make the lights.
I can't. You just fucked up his night vision so hard. Just
It's like, well, you might be able to do it better. And I mean, maybe because the flame did the problem, they can do the fix, and then would give him guidance.
Okay. Um, but either way, I'm gonna say that's what everybody else wakes up to as you come up to the top deck is Bemi and Pick the act. Um, and
Is
yeah,
it is
sorry,
it
go ahead.
still raining?
It has completely stopped. It stopped last
Okay.
night and doesn't look like it's gonna rain today. Nice day. But yeah, the sunrise is rising up over the lake, turning into a pretty reflective surface. A light haze of mist quickly burning off in the coming heat. A chorus of honks fills the air as your ship disturbs a flock of waterfowl who fly out of your way, the wings slapping the water in tandem before they rise higher. But yeah, you're able to set out. Your trip is going to take you past Gwynedd Cull and along the Pimbem River. Do you want to do anything in that place, or do you want to just no business there right now onwards?
I'm fine to keep going. We don't really
Cool.
have a. I'd rather avoid talking to these people as much as possible.
That's fair. I was just double checking.
Yeah,
But
I don't know about anyone else.
No, not particularly. But Bemi would tell Purser and everybody about the water lady.
Okay.
Ah,
The lady of the lake. She didn't throw any scimitars at anybody's.
The water lady?
why would she
What
throw
were you looking at?
scimitars?
It's an old joke meme on you.
Yep. How you become a king. Some watery tart hurls a scimitar at you.
So, why was there a person in the water?
That's where she lived.
Oh, she like a, what they call them? A water merfolk, that was it.
No, she had 2 legs. 2 legs made of water. She didn't have no fish tail.
Some
She's a
manner of
Legs, did
fae.
you
spirit,
say
then.
legs made out of water?
She was like a water lady. Like
Oh, like an
picture a
elemental.
lady. No, she wasn't no elemental. She was a fae. Some kind of water fae.
Can I do like a check to see if I know what those are?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, this would be like a nature, arcana.
Arcana religion.
Okay, religion. I'm a master at arcana. Watch this.
All right. I'm watching.
11.
Yeah, it sounds like a fae, maybe, or an elemental. What's your take
I
from
guess
that?
Purser has to solve all these problems as usual.
Okay, Purser.
All right.
You have some. There's no way to know all the fae because they change form depending on culture. How they behave changes with the form. Um,
Seasonal.
but a lady in the water, and if Bemi, do you describe like conversation and such, or just what she looked like? Do you
Yeah, I talk about the conversation. Like, well, she knew somebody who was a giant. I can't recall the name you said, but
somewhere, but that's fine.
it,
Um,
but I'm like, well, she's looking for her friend named such and such,
mhm.
and well, she's made of water, skins water. She had like she weren't no elemental though.
Well,
She
some
just
manner
wanted.
of water spirit, clearly. They do tend to be immortal, and she may have remembered some giant that served on this ship thousands of years ago.
Possible. She just wanted someone to talk to her till the sun came up. Then she
Hmm.
even said, "Are you gonna stay here and keep talking to me?" And she said, "Hey, how about you come into the water and talk to me?" And I was like, "We only met today. I don't want to go swimming with you. I'd like to stay dry." And she was really sad. But I don't know her very well, so
That does
Yeah,
seem unwise.
Purser, that part is like, oh, that might have been a naiad. because they sometimes, it's usually not out of malice, but they have a hard time like grasping how fragile like fey people are when it comes to
Hmm.
going into the water. They very often will drown people. Just basically trying to invite friends over. Um, so yeah, probably wise to not go into the water.
I'll develop a spell of water breathing, and hopefully, the next time we come through this area, we'll be able to talk to her in person.
Okay. I mean, I was able to talk to her in poison, but
Ah,
Not in the
yes, but
water.
I doubt she was comfortable up here. It'd be like you talking to me, well, dangling 60 feet in the air.
that's never really had a problem. But I mean, I get. Am I upside down?
Whichever would be least comfortable for you, Bemmy. In
Okay,
in the
so
daytime without your glasses.
stop. That's terrible.
And that's what the dry land is like for her.
Oh. Oh. Ew.
I mean,
Exactly.
you already have one, but I would give an additional inspiration to Purser for
I
managing to explain an abstract concept to Bimmy like that. That is solid point.
if she does prove to be friendly, she could be a worthwhile ally to have as we develop Mishann.
Yeah. Pretty ladies can still drown you.
Oh, that's what magic is for.
Life
We'll get
lessons with
there.
Bimmy. Uh, but yeah. So the let's see here. Yeah. The rest of the trip along the Pimbam River goes without event, and soon you're only a few miles from where this branch of the river tapers off. Tomorrow you'll be going by foot. Um, and yeah, you're basically just a little short of where you need to hop off. I think by like a mile or two. You could hop off now if you're willing to like march through the dark, but
The peasants will be going by foot.
yeah, you're 7 miles from where you from the road that they assure you is there.
Well, there's no
So,
reason to like walk more than necessary. So
Okay, fair
it's
enough. Wait until
wiser
tomorrow.
words have never been said.
It's a half-hour ride in the ship once it's got its charge again. So, um, yeah. So you guys bunk down for the night, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say nothing happens this night to avoid needless rolling. There's no spooky water lady. She didn't follow you past the lake or anything like that. Um, and although it is peaceful, Pick and at least one other person, you guys do hear something a little ways a little ways up the river, leaving the river that night, like splashing out of it. Um, but it's far enough away that even with dark vision, shape is mostly indistinct. Um, and yeah, nothing attacks or anything like that. And the sun rises on the next day. And 30 minutes later, you are at a point where the river has gotten too shallow for a ship your size. To your surprise, there's a small fishing village here with a set of docks that look suitable for much larger settlement. These are pretty solid docks for like 7 houses and a granary or something. Like this is the equivalent of a one horse town, but they have a like docks that are at least as big as what Mishann hopes to have eventually.
Do the
Um,
docks look like ancient, like they're much older than the village? Or
Oddly enough, these ones it all looks new,
hmm,
and built to elf humanoid scale, not to giant scale. Uh,
okay.
Lady Wayrub, for her part, kind of explains. She says, "This is the main dock used by the Piva clan to ship their produce along the river. Long ago, we judged that maintaining proper roads this close to a river that floods as often as the Pimbam does was, well, pointless.
Hmm.
We just use the river to ship things. She also like is looking at the town with and the ground with like the muddy water and ground. She doesn't look thrilled at having to get out walking on foot. Um, but Lord Olenquai, for his part, looks pretty cheerful. He just says, "Don't look so down, High Lady. At least we're on a proper road this time, and in only a few miles we should start to see the beginnings of Piva's southern farms and plantations. So it's not as if we'll be in the wilderness." And yeah, you guys disembark mostly via, well, chain. They don't have rope on the ship, but yeah, huge chains. You're able to climb down, and I assume you're leaving your hapless caster to be the sole person in charge of the ship. Keep
Hmm.
it keep it there when you come back or whatever.
I think we'll give her instructions to like just get out of there if anything goes down,
She
and
does have
then
the sending spell, so she can contact you once a day or something and ask, "Hey, is everything fine? Should I leave yet?" That type of thing.
that's fair. Um, so yeah, daily check-in would be fine. She could even go back further down the river so that
Oh, you don't need to tell her that. She does not like any of this. Yeah,
yeah, and we're not
Casa
on the
does not like
best of
it.
terms with Biapo right now, so it could be problematic if like their like border scouts are like, "Hey, this is the boat that blew up the city a week ago."
Yeah, yeah. It does help that this fork is kind of it's used by Gwynedd, Pikir, and Biapo. But yeah, there is a chance that their ships might come along.
Yeah, so
Uh,
we'll just tell her to don't risk herself or the ship. Just get out if anything looks dicey, and then just let us know in the check-in.
okay. Yeah, that's she likes that plan. Um, But yeah, as you guys splash down in this little absolute one horse of a town, for a one horse town, the folk here seem much less provincial. Probably it's a point of pride that oh yeah, we're part of the Piva clan, but they're clearly very proud. They have a restaurant in town. Like they have foreign people coming through. You're probably some of the most foreign they've ever had, but they've had people from all kinds of clans coming through. They've had tribals coming through. They even have occasional moth folk. Like, yeah, they're this is not just like your standard fishing village, and they're very proud of that. Um, but that aside, it is besides the docks, it is a pretty standard fishing village. Um, but yeah, the you find out pretty quickly that Lord Olenquai is correct as you follow the wide and well-ditched road north. The road is it's a gravel road, clear, like very level, well made, especially in a jungle. Although it's kind of scrub jungle at this point. There's none of the huge towering trees you're used to in the proper jungle. This just seems like stuff that's grown up between fields almost. Even that quickly gives way to miles and miles of farmland stretching out in all directions as you follow the road north. Vast fields of crackle corn, long corn, rattle beans, tomatoes, eggplant, giant chard are broken up by groves of date palm and giant olives, or date palms and giant olives. Sorry. Um, it is just an absolute picture of agricultural bounty. In these fields are lizard folk toiling away to tend the crops, usually under the eye of a drow overseer mounted atop a feathered sprinter. Although as often as not, it's another lizard folk, usually lacking the distinctive iron collar that their fellows have. Um, in the orchards, you spot a fair number of Tricalic thrycreen fluttering among the trees, either gathering fruit or tending to the trees themselves. They are also
Holiday.
wearing collars, typically indicating
Oh,
slavery.
not
But
yay.
they seem to be treated as they're not treated as heavy labor. It's just kind of, well, it's easier for you to flutter up there and keep the fruit happy or keep the fruit growing well. That's very little very little good news, but silver lining, I guess. But yeah, uh, this far out, you can see a few small villages occasionally. Um, they mostly consist of just a couple proper homes, several barns, usually more than the number of actual houses, and several partially buried barracks-like buildings that seem to be where the field slaves are kept when they're not working. Um, very like would be very easy to basically bar these things off. Your group, as you're walking along, does attract some attention. Um, but even if you guys are, I should probably ask, are you just going along looking as you do, or are you going for disguises again? How are you approaching this?
Purser's not going to do a disguise.
No
No.
disguise.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. It just doesn't. No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is more diplomatic one. You kind of want them to know who you are if it goes well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so seeing the drow with you disarms any real hostility. More than a few, and unlike in Biapo, where there was it wasn't hostility, but there was still like a very appraising look at you. There's more than a few friendly greetings called. Both nobles return the waves with lordly aloofness. Lord Olenquai or Adrian um, grins once you go past one of the overseers and just says, "Well, that's Piva for you. Friendly folk. Hope we don't have to fight them." Huon
Purser just
was
nods.
Huon was always too kind for the game. I hear losing his wife and sons to the plague hit him particularly hard. Uh, yeah, Lady Wayrub just shakes her head. If we have to, we will, but I'm in agreement about wanting to leave Lord Piva out of this. He was one of the only loyal clan heads after the Southern Campaign began to sour. And besides, she just kind of gestures to the farmland. This is one of the most important areas within Alamcusp. About half the capital's food comes from Piva and uh, Lemquek, and several other clans rely on both of them to supplant any bad harvests. Irnix may brag about its magical power, but their control over these two lesser clans um, provides much of the realm's food is, well, or that provide much of the realm's food is at least as important as any arcane mastery. But yeah, it just marched through, well, the deep south in ye old days, or very a lot like that. But near the end of the day, it is near the end of your day of this, and you're getting close to Pivical. If you want to stop there, I imagine that's probably your goal is to overnight in a town. Um,
Seems reasonable.
it's
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely a relief to imagine being able to get off your feet or rest your wings or whatever for a bit. And the sun is beginning to set at this point. You've been going for a solid 7.5, pushing. Honestly, you're on foot. So you're not trapped by the charge thing. You've been going for at least 8 hours. Um, and as the sun is setting, you're joined on the road by rows of slaves returning to the clan hold for a night's rest. At least the ones this close to it. Um, Suddenly, there are shouts of alarm nearby as two creatures literally burst out of a nearby barn. I already said nearby, out of a barn. They're clearly saurian with enormous jaws filled with rows of teeth. On their back is a tall sail-like fin that gives them their name. Bemmy and Pick, you've both heard of these creatures before. Sailbacks, or sometimes called river kings. Given that they were small enough to fit in the barn, they must be adolescents, but that doesn't make them any less dangerous, as you see one of them take a snap that bisects a lizardfolk slave that didn't move fast enough. And I'll put you guys on the map.
Purser's like already drawing his wand and advancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And we'll be fine.
Yeah. Everybody can roll initiative.
They're fine.
What? Oh, there I am. Holy cow. Should be
Trying to
looking
find
for my
myself.
token. Yeah.
It's up near the top here.
Wow.
Wow.
There we go. I was forgetting which command to open the sheet.
Are these things a subtype of rats, perchance?
No. I feel
Down to
really
Shall see.
confident saying there is no relation to rats.
There.
Unusual
I'll believe
rats
you.
of size.
Mhm.
We shall verify soon.
The young Spinosaur. No, not a rat.
Rats were so OP they helped finish off the Spinosaurus.
That's true. In a very backhanded fashion. Alright, I'm gonna have all lizard folk go at once. Gonna have all of the drow conscripts go at once. And there's only one proper drow warrior there with you. Keep it clan warrior. I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think I got everybody. I got Pick, Bemmy, Balthazar, Ludger, and Purser. Okay, cool. All right. So, Pick, this is the very dead lizard folk as this large, scary thing is swallowing what's left there. What would you like to do?
First, she will look to her party and be like, "We killing these?" I'm assuming we are, but I mean, they might have been keeping them as pets.
Pick is checking. Yeah, I mean, hey, they're
was
probably trainable.
Let's restrain them if we can, but I'm not optimistic.
Okay.
Ludger basically stares wide-eyed as like without saying a word, you can tell he's going to kill the fucking like wagon-sized monsters that just bit someone in half.
It worked out in Jurassic Park eventually, I just want to say. Like, how long did Jurassic
She's
World run
gonna.
before there were problems? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's fine. She's just gonna zoom up and perch on top of this house.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yep. Fair enough. There is a roof there. I just took the roofs off so you guys could go in and out as needed. This is the barn they erupted out of.
And let's see. I'm just seeing the distance on this, but I guess she will pull out her little crossbow. And can't do steady aim this round, but she'll just give it.
Give it a shot.
Well, actually, I think she's going to hold, and if it approaches one of the other people, then she's going to do warding flare.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You can
Cool.
only use that when it attacks you.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah. Sounds
oh,
right.
yourself and an attacking enemy. Okay.
I think the level 10 feature is what lets you use it when other people are attacked.
Curse you and your extensive knowledge of Dungeons
okay.
and Dragons.
That's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
It
It's very
is. Yeah.
Then let's see.
I have no idea what I'm
15,
doing. Luckily, I'm in the party with someone who does.
25, 30.
That's why I'm the wizard.
That's what
This will
Damn,
actually
Skippy.
probably do better than her.
You only need one wizard.
Oh, she'll just do a shot.
Okay.
Good old fashioned. Oh, I do have Sacred Flame on here. 2d8.
I will
she'll
warn
just
you,
do her
Sacred
traditional.
Flame is going to be very underwhelming for you.
That's fair.
That hits. No sneak, but 9 piercing is good.
All right. That is all she do.
Okay. I'm assuming this was the one, right? Closer one?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
No, you're good. Just want to double check. All right. Okay. Yeah, you've shot it. You're not sure how much it noticed, but that, it definitely seemed to like snap at the air a bit. That something bit it. And we'll go to these guys' turns. Boy, they don't like this at all. But yeah, this clan, their training is going to be close the fucking distance. All right. Let's see, what's the range on that? Oof. All right.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out.
They're trained to destroy, like the elite warriors of this are all longbowmen, so the conscripts are trained to like be the front line. All right, so he's gonna go up. He's gonna do some attacks.
If I had $1 for every time I said bold strategy, Cotton, when someone's about to do something fucking stupid at work.
I'll be
A
sure to keep
12
that.
does not hit. This guy's
I'll keep
gonna
that in
try.
mind for my game Friday.
This guy's gonna
Yes.
charge up. He's gonna also try. Do it. Oh, see, look at that. He critted. Like that's he
Well,
critted
he
and dealt
deserves.
13 damage. Pretty freaking good. Um, all things considered. And it's this guy's turn. He is going to. He's got some stuff here. Warrior. Careful shot. He's not going to move. And then he's going to do 3 longbow shots. 2, 3.
3 longbow shots?
Yep, they're pretty good at it. Miss. That one hits for another
Is
13 piercing. Pretty good. All right, this thing is being peppered with arrows, and it doesn't like any part of that. And someone stabbed its toe. All right, Bemmy.
all right. Seeing as this is
He's big.
he's a big boy. Uh, let's see. The one that hasn't been hit yet. This
Mm-hmm.
guy?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Or
I will
gal.
move
We don't want to assume.
5, 10, 15, 20. It's a fucking dinosaur. 10, and then I will bonus action Hunter's Mark
Okay. All right, cool.
on this big old
Yep.
Spinosaurus lizard, and then I will get 3 attacks as well.
I could do it too.
Ooh,
Start firing.
6 seconds.
ooh,
That hits. That
and
hits.
this is the third one. All right.
Yeah, look at that. See, those are like rat level rolls.
So that third one, what I've noticed is that I've been doing something wrong this entire time. For Dread
Okay.
Ambusher, I have to add a 1d8. It's not just the extra attack. So
Okay.
let me just clarify.
Okay.
Target takes an extra 1d8. So I've been robbing myself of 1d8 damage this
That's
entire time.
okay. Yeah, it probably didn't matter.
Yeah.
Eh,
All right. Yeah. For every time. Yep, he's still up. All right.
fuck you. I have no control over that.
All right.
You know full well that roll 20 would reduce the damage you dealt with the other ones to ensure that that 1 die 8 gets it to like 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Now I'm assuming I do not get the sneak attack damage.
No, I don't know why you would. I mean, I'm open to the
But
idea, but I don't know where it came from.
that's fine. No, that's fine. So far that's
And don't forget to hunt his mark.
no, I won't. I won't. So that's 26, 35 plus 3 hunter's marks. 1, 2, 3,
16, not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
35.
Yeah, you shot the hell out of it. Seems that really hurt it.
40, 35. Well, it's 45. 51. Jeez.
That's a
And
lot.
52 total points of damage.
Yeah, it's very upset, and it roars menacingly.
That's some good numbers, man.
Yeah.
You're on par with a rat.
Yeah. Now just imagine if he couldn't see me. It'd be great.
It is Adrian's turn, and he did not get to be. He's not still in charge of the clan because he thinks very rationally about these things. He just likes to do stuff. He's gonna charge up to here with his pole arm out. I can't
These
quite
people
reach
are
him.
so dumb. Why would they charge these giant monsters when they're so squishy?
This guy is not squishy. The head of head of the Olonkai clan is not squishy.
Right.
Balthazar, would you like to do?
Yep, one moment, just gotta reread and re-remember my new class moment.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
Let's see, 10
I
minutes.
think you have your helmet and your astral helmet.
Bonus
and
action,
astral
you can spend a
arms.
key point. I'll use a bonus action to summon my arms.
Okay. And I think your helmet's summoned with it at your current level. Or
Yep,
I don't know if maybe it's an option. I'm not sure.
I think it's when you
He's-
get the third one, you can summon all three at once.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. There's you have to spend energy to summon them. Okay,
Yep,
my bad.
you can summon bonus action, parts of bonus action to activate the arms. You can spend another key point to activate the visage. So take out 2, so it can be out of key already. Yeah, like 2 seconds in. Astral sight. I can see into darkness. That will come in handy. Advantage on insight and charisma intimidation checks. Blah blah blah. Anyone you can make you can direct words to a creature of your choice is within 60 feet, making them when a creature can hear you. Alternatively, you can amplify your voice. All right. I think I have like a little AOE radius thing now. All right.
Okay.
I'll pop both the visage and the arms. That's 2 key points, and then I'll start moving.
Okay. Get oil for this chair. So, anyways, the monk starts moving, dashing forward.
Yep, let's see here. If I could squeeze in some more speed. If that dash thingamabob is I think there's like quicken something that can like do a dash as a bonus, but I
Bonus
think
action.
that
Yeah, it's
yeah, I
spend a
already
key
used
point.
it. I already used it to spend this, yeah.
Okay.
But I will try something new. The visage of the astral self states, I can speak to a creature within 60 feet of you, make it so only they can hear you. And I have advantage on intimidation checks. Can I look that thing right in the eye and start shit talking it?
Um, I'll allow it. It's might be kind of hard. It doesn't understand languages probably, but yeah, give it a
I can.
shot.
I think. I mean, you could talk to it and shit talk it in a primal sense.
Yeah, you're yelling at the dog type thing. I
Yep.
gotcha.
Yep. And I have advantage, so that's an 8.
It seems not real intimidated yet. Um,
All right.
but
That's my action.
okay.
I go sleep now.
Okay. She is going to have a bit more measured in in a response. She is going to cast Fairy Fire and try and get this big in it. So he's going to do a dex save against her casting. Oh, wait, Rub. What's her spell? What's the save for? Okay, it's not high. All right, let's try Fairy Fire. Yeah, she doesn't want to get her ally in it too. Well, Beldrow. Okay, so dex saving throw from that boy, because he looks less injured. Dex. He's not great at these, so. Yeah, he failed. Okay. He is
I was about
now.
to say, explain to me how this fucking 2,000-pound animal nimbly leaped out of the way
What
of the
the?
fucking AOE effect that takes
I
up like its
don't
entire
know.
fucking space.
I don't know. All right. All right. So, Ludger.
Fuck you. That rat didn't have thumbs. It didn't open the door.
I stand by that. All right.
No, that's
No,
dude.
now it's our turn.
I wasn't even thinking about it. You're absolutely right.
It's a giant
Well,
rat. Maybe it just bit the door and opened it.
I was about to say, in my head, it threw itself at the door handle, which caught
I've
like
seen.
those like latch handle things. I was imagining
Yeah.
one of those.
I
Fine.
mean, cats can do it.
Cats are not rats. All right, Ludger, what would you like?
Okay, I move up. I'm going to action surge because we're going to long rest once we get into town, anyways. Might as well spend X. Wanna what? I'm feeling confident on account of the fact that you know, I have advantage with fairy fire,
You
so
do.
I'm going to take advantage of sharpshooter.
Okay.
And now action surge just does it double the amount of attacks I get, or does it just like an additional attack? Like
It gives you an additional action.
So, yeah,
so?
basically doubles your attacks. Yep.
Okay, so I get 4.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so 1
That one misses. Oh no, wait. With why is it applying
advantage.
the -3? That's weird. Okay, 16 plus minus. That's the
Oh,
part that's confusing
it's
me.
because it's +2, but it's getting -5 from sharpshooter, so it's being
Right,
changed
right.
to
Okay, so
-3.
it is -3. Okay, so 13. Okay, so 13 does miss. 14 hits. So your
Okay,
second shot hits.
okay, and god damn it.
Misses. That one hits. Yep.
I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but you tell me this thing is less AC than a rat.
I'm not touching that one.
Have you ever tried throwing a rock at a rat?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. It's so easier to hit the scurrying like rat that's like running around versus the thing the size of a fucking shed. Like,
Yeah, I know.
Listen.
That's how I believe that's how they made their AC highest, because you physically cannot hit them; they're too fast.
I remember it
But
killed
it
them
was
barn
the
rats.
size of a person. It's a fucking. You know what? No, I'm not getting dragged into this conversation.
Look,
Go ahead
barn
and roll
rats get
damage.
pretty fucking big. I've killed them with wrenches.
All
The
right,
rat,
so
the rat, the rat question
19.
will be forever in this party.
Oh. So 37 damage with 2 hits. That's pretty good.
yeah. And in hindsight, it occurred to me I could have used my superiority die,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
the tip
It's
for like the accurate shot one. But why not?
It's still
Yeah.
pretty good.
Fuck it.
If I had
Get
a
37 damage. I am
if
my
I
turn.
had $1 for every time I forgot to use my superiority die as Oscar,
You'd have a lot of money. Yeah.
I'd have a lot of money.
You'd also have a lot of money if you had $1 for every time I called you Oscar when you're playing other Dwarven characters.
This is also true.
I end my turn.
Okay. The lizard folk commoners slash slaves are not having any part of this. Fine. Dashing off screen. Yeah, they're bailing because they really don't want to be here. All right, now it's these guys' turn. He's going to start off first. He is going to. I can get rid of this now. 1 bite attack, 2 claw attacks. Yeah, you know what? Step 1 here. Gonna claw at the that guy. Oh, good. Okay, thanks. Oh, there we go. Now it came. Okay, that's a hit. That's not 16 slashing. He's not dead yet, so he's going to do another claw attack. And 25 does hit, so that is enough. And he's going to go here and bite at Lord Olmquai. His bite attack. See. 18 just barely hits. Does Olmquai have anything that can counter it? No. Okay, so that's not good. Alright, so he is bitten at 16 damage and he is grappled. Take that off.
I doubt it's going to happen, but it would be like classic D&D moment if Lord Alanquai gets like bitten half by a dinosaur, and then we have to deal with the awkwardness of one of our NPC guides being gone for like the rest of the campaign.
No, I'll fix this.
Let's see, what's a good grapple?
I'm trying to kill it as fast as I can, guys.
I'll take care of it.
You
Don't
did some good
worry.
damage. All right, Purser, it's your turn.
So I watched him just full cock run in, get grabbed, and is about to be like chomped in half or something. And I'll approach and stand next to Lady Wayrobe and give a dismissive flick of my wand and cast Hold Monster on the Spino that grabbed him.
Okay. Wisdom save, right?
Yeah, it's a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw.
It's a flat roll. Let's see what it gets. 15. That was a good roll, but not enough. It is. Paralyzed,
Chains of silvery fire wrap around it.
Okay.
Freezes in place.
Let's see, a good. This is. I feel like that. It's a good. Yeah, here we'll use that. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
He doesn't understand common, so
Nope.
that's a good thing. Although you do get a bit of a side eye and like a half smirk from Lady Wayrobe, who you suspect has been picking up common. But yeah. Anything else?
That's it for Purser.
Okay. This guy's turn. And they're dinosaurs. They don't really work in tandem with each other. It's gonna start off biting this or attempting to kill this guy. It's gonna claw. Let's see what I get there. Oh, crit. Okay, yeah, nice. And it's gonna charge up to here. Let's see, how quick-witted are they? Not very. What's the int? Yeah, no, just definitely nearest thing I eat. All right, so second claw attack on you, Balthazar. 28 to hit.
Yeah.
15 slashing, followed by bite. And 24 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is 30 piercing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're grappled.
Uh-huh.
That's it for you.
All right. I'm still alive somehow.
You're grappled. Yeah, pick. What would you like?
All right.
Well, the upside, it didn't crit when it bit you. It critted on the fucking NPC, so that's good.
I don't think it would have mattered if it crit or not. I think it still would have killed
That
me.
bite would have, yeah, the crit on the bite would have been bad. It didn't though. That's the important part.
How dead is this person? Well, they're
Very,
slavers. I don't
very
care.
dead. like
Cadaverific.
yeah.
Always ethically correct to kill slavers. All right, we're just going to do our usual.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's
not
the
going to sit
top
still.
half is 10 feet away from the bottom half, kind of dead.
Yeah. They're still connected, but only technically by like, innards. That definitely hits. Okay, cool. Let me take that off. And he's bloodied.
This is out of character.
Uh-huh.
It occurs to me, if this longbowman gets like viciously mauled to death, the only drow around would be like the ones attached to our party. So we could probably just go, hey, yeah, any remaining lizard folk.
In the immediate area, you're in like the suburbs
Yeah.
outside the town. Like,
Never mind.
yeah.
I thought we were still like out in the middle of like sprawling farmland.
No, you're coming up on the actual like closest thing they have to a capital. Yeah. Or well, the town, the clan hold. There we go. That's the correct term. It's you're coming up on the clan hold now. Cool. So you've shot it. Anything else?
That is the extent of the excitement.
Okay, I can just get rid of these guys because they're very dead. This guy does not like how close that thing got. Let's see. Does he have anything good as far as getting away so that he can not be mauled viciously? Yeah, you know what? It's well, he figures it can't bite him. Its mouth is full, so he's just gonna move away without disengaging. Gonna move over to here and take the attack of opportunity, which it will make because it's not a thinker. It'll claw at him. Do the thing. Roll 20. I wonder if this is just like a popular time. That's why it freaks out when I go to click stuff. There we go. Wow, okay. Yeah, it hits. All right. But he's still up. He's fine. I get some good rolls all of a sudden. Okay. But now he's in position to shoot the hell out of it, which he's gonna do. At advantage because the thing is glowing purple. There it is. And you know what? He's gonna use his archer's eye while he's doing it. One. Wow. Okay, so he critted and he used archers. That's fucking awesome. All right, 2 die 10. Awesome. Added on top of it. That's pretty good. So 34 damage with his first shot. Nice. It's still alive, but it's badly hurt. And then his other shots. 1, 2. I'm not gonna lie, this kind of pisses me off because I needed something other than nat ones last night, and I couldn't fucking roll. Now random NPCs are getting crits. All right, fine, whatever, fucking fine. All right, and then -8. Yeah, so it's still up. Okay, all right, Bemi, what would you like to do?
Well, one dinosaur is all stuck.
Yeah, this thing is pin cushioned. Like it's one of those you have no idea how it's still standing.
Well, looks like I should shoot it then.
You could, yeah. That hits. Why don't you roll damage before you do? Okay, how do you want to do it? It was at 5.
Basically, as it's just roaring and crying, I just want an arrow to go straight out the top of its head. I don't know how. I just
Yeah.
found the soft spot.
Well, it lifted its head up to try and do how birds are when they're eating, like they're trying to swallow something too big. That's what it was getting ready to do with Balthazar, and you just like while it was doing that, it exposed its throat and you shot through and out the top of its head. And yeah, it topples to the ground with a earth-shaking thud, and Balthazar, you roll free of its jaws. Your other attacks, you want to do them or?
You want me to? Do you want me to kill it, Purser? Or do you want me to leave it alone? I
Is
guess
there
you'd
any
shout
sign
that.
of like I don't know, ranchers or other like soldiers rushing in this direction?
Yeah, I would say in the last 6 seconds there are people rushing, but the drow are pretty sparsely like even there's more here right now to watch to escort the field slaves in, but there's still probably 1 or 2 rounds away. The closest ones are on feathered sprinters, which are like ostrich dinosaurs. So they're closing fast, but they're not here yet.
I can hold it for about a minute. If we can find ropes or anything to bind it, we should be able to take it alive.
Oh boy.
So am I killing it or not?
Avoid killing it for now. Let's find a way to pacify it.
Do the teenage, oh god. Oh.
Fine. Ensnaring strike.
It's
It's still very ensnared, I think, at the moment, but
yeah, it's already paralyzed, restrained, won't do much more to it.
sprinter, there we
Oh,
go.
that's right. Well, nope. You did
And I'm
say a
not going to
minute.
stop you, but you do you.
I don't. I don't know. I can't shoot him.
You could run up to it and start tying its legs together. It can't move. How much do you trust Purser?
Yeah, Percy's got like one hand stretched toward it, and he's like Professor X focusing on it.
All right. Well, I'll try to hog tie this dinosaur.
By the way, when it's paralyzed, does it drop what it's holding? Or I think it just freezes, so it still has Olenquai in its mouth.
It is incapacitated, so it can't maintain a grapple.
Okay, all right. In that case, he slid free and fell 10 feet. So let me deal that damage to him. It's 1d6, not 1d10. Wow, that actually did more damage. Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So, Bemi, you're just using standard rope.
That's the only kind of rope I have.
No, I'm just thinking. How much movement speed did you have when you moved? Because I was thinking like if you just like sort of half tie it to one leg and then just run around it a lot, you could do the old Star Wars thing. But
Let's see if I'd have 5 extra feet of movement.
okay, yeah. So give me a check on me a dexterity check to see how good this knot tying is as you're frantically like throwing rope around its paralyzed legs. Okay, you feel pretty good about it. It's firmly tied to one leg. You just have to try and tighten it somehow. But you're like halfway there, you'd say, as far as tethering its legs together properly.
Okay.
And it is Olenquai's turn, and he is pretty
It's
pissed.
getting pretty shocking. This is now happening twice.
It's not technically an actual dragon this time. Um, let's see. He's pissed. But he. Oh wait, I was gonna say he did hear you, Purser, but he can't understand. He's gonna start stabbing the shit out of it unless told otherwise. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Poleaxe. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna
he
use
has
his poleaxe.
advantage, and it'll crit if he's adjacent to it.
Oh man, that's a
If he's
lot.
doing it from 10 feet away, he won't crit.
Oh, okay. Even with a ranged weapon.
Yep. As long as you're within
Oh,
5 feet of the creature, you auto crit.
nice. Okay, I'd probably step up to just stab this. You know what? He doesn't. He does not know that mechanic. He's just stabbing it while trying to, step back. That's believable. All right. Like his training all involves keeping some distance. So the auto crit thing is out, thank goodness. He's still got 20, 23, and 19, so he's still all gonna hit, but all that. see. Fire. 15. He deals 45 damage to it. Cursing under his breath about still being weakened by the plague. Okay. And yeah, that's it for him. Balthazar here prone, but you're alive.
Stand up.
All
Get
right.
in the melee.
All right.
I have reach because of my astral cell thing.
Mhm.
I'll be
And then,
attacking non-lethally.
okay. Yeah, fair enough. You see Bemi tying one leg.
Then Muda Muda.
Okay, you're just gonna start vicious. I mean, that's a pretty fair reaction to just it picked me up and was shaking me. All right.
Alright, so 1 key point. You can let me pop that. In turn, take attack action. You can spend 1 key point to make 2. Alright, so attack number 1, 22 to hit,
That hits. Yeah.
4 force damage.
Okay.
Attack number 2 for 18,
That also hits. Yeah.
the force.
Okay.
Bonus. So that'll be 11, 21 force damage.
Okay.
I guess non-lethal, because I can still do
been
that.
bloodied. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's still up. It's just being viciously pummeled. This adolescent, you're beating up a teenager.
I don't fucking
Anything
care.
else? Anything
I
else,
don't care.
Balza?
But you took 90% of my HP in one move. I don't give a fuck what age you are. You're dying.
Okay. It is her turn. She's gonna drop concentration on that because there's no good reason to. And she is going to call out in Elvish to Lord Olenquai. Don't kill it. We're trying to capture it alive, please. Which may imply she is picking up some common. It's gonna go over here.
I mean, there's also the context of what's happening.
That too, yeah.
She's not lost in the sauce.
She is not. She's a strategist from a family of strategists. Oh, okay. You know what? She's going to survey the battlefield and no, that's not actually very helpful here. So I guess she will missing. Yeah, I guess she's just gonna go over here and call out to the mounted riders coming in. And Ludger, what would you like to do?
Okay, Ludger basically sees what's going on. So he can't really like, yeah, as much as he'd like to shoot this thing twice. He will instead hold an action. So if it looks like the creature is about to like break free or like hurt anyone, or anything like that, he will shoot it. But otherwise, yeah, that's all he can do while only moving 30 feet. So
Sounds good.
yeah.
Sounds good. All right, it's this guy's turn. We need to see if with a flat roll if he can beat 17
Yeah.
to get rid of
It's
that.
the end of the turn.
Yeah, fair enough. Wisdom save. I would be pretty surprised. No, an 11 doesn't beat 17. Okay. Percy, what'd you like to do?
So I'm just gonna dash up and just stand next to Olin Kwai.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll be ready to help in a few seconds.
I'm busy, but don't worry. I'm there with you in spirit. Pick, what would you like to do? Now they're telling you not to kill it. It's very disorienting.
This one's still up rampaging, eh?
It's paralyzed.
and half
paralyzed.
tied up. Yep.
I guess
They're currently tying up its legs.
come help tie it up.
That is fair.
I have.
How much movement? I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna ask. You can help tie it up if you just grab rope and flutter around it. You have the movement speed. You're a rogue. I know you do.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to finish that.
We zoom.
Its legs are tied, and if it goes to try and stride forward, if the paralyzed thing ends, it'll just topple forward. Think chicken with its legs tied together. Or duck with its legs tied together, I guess.
Does he have
Gives
those
it a
tiny?
couple good pats.
That's not going anywhere. Yeah.
That's not
what were you-
going anywhere.
Yeah. What were you saying, Bemmy?
Does he have those tiny vestigial arms? So he literally just eats shit when he falls.
They're not that vestigial. Like they're decent, but yeah, it's wouldn't be enough to like hold it up at anyway. They're mostly there to claw the shit out of people. So yeah, it's once it topples forward, it's not getting up. And we will go to this guy. He's, you know, he understands the concept, but he's not getting closer. That's not what you're paying for. So I guess he's gonna go over. Actually, you know what? He's gonna go over here and start speaking with the slave quietly. And yeah, actually, the slave would have fucking left screen, so he's just gonna go after them. Call out that the danger is past, type thing. Bemmy, what would you like to do?
Continue to
It's
tie
it's tied
this.
already. I guess you could just try and push it over while it's paralyzed.
I
Seems
guess.
mean.
I guess I'm roping its mouth shut.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so you need to do the whole climate thing. It's not moving, so it's easier. So give me a acrobatics check with advantage to climb this still dino. Um, okay. Yeah, you're able to climb up and you're like clinging to the top part of its snout, and you have some more rope in hand, and you started to wrap it around it. I really hope Purser doesn't drop the spell early. uh,
Oh no,
yeah.
the wand is covered in butter. Ugh.
Bemmy's like, it's less funny now that I knew I shouldn't have covered his wand in butter.
It seemed funny at the time, but
all right. Olenpai is going to step up and just try and do non-lethal as he just beats the shit out of it. Because he gets it. Fond of this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's that's more than 27 points. Okay, so it is beaten unconscious, and I assume that ends hold person if it's actually like
Nope. I mean, I can
it's
end it at any time, but
it's held up even unconscious. That's hilarious. Okay, so yeah, even it's like he thinks it's
I'll
enough, and he's considering like giving it another couple whacks to see if it seems like it's unconscious, but it's still there, and he's like
no,
reeling back to pop it again.
it's
Yeah.
the eyes rolled in the back of his head, sir.
I'll wait until
Oh,
everyone's
he
clear
don't
to
he
care.
actually
thinks
drop
he's
it.
gonna do the simulate brain damage trick.
Oh,
Think he's
simulating a
gonna get away
seizure?
with
I
that
don't give a
one.
shit. You think? He's pretending to have a seizure. I'll give him a real one.
So
Oh
what?
god.
He's
All right,
So,
so yeah.
99% of my HP and a quarter of my key, I'm killing you.
It would be very easy for you to kill the thing. It's currently on the ground, unconscious.
No,
right
we
now.
need to do diplomacy and all that. So, fucking.
So once we got the sail back secured, I'm gonna hit Lord Olenquai with a 3rd level cure wounds.
Oh yeah, he likes that.
What about me?
You're
Okay,
fine.
look.
I have like 3 HP
I'll
out of
hit
50.
you with one as well.
Pick is like, I can try. It is new. It is not as powerful.
You did 45 hit points out of 51.
Yeah, you got a good roll on the bite. Yeah. All right.
You have 13 hit points, Baltazar.
Oh, thank you.
So
I don't. My limb isn't dragging across the ground now.
We'll try.
while you guys are doing triage,
I don't
the
know why it put sneak on that, but there you go.
Because you still have it checked.
the surviving drow overseer comes over to you guys and says, "Praise the promise you were here. Those sailbacks weren't anything we were raising. I bet they're the result of some poor slaves thinking they'd have their own very own beasts of war." He shakes his head.
What?
"Poor fools. I'd bet they were the first ones killed when the creatures broke free. But we can probably put this one to use. I appreciate it. You must come for an evening meal at the manor. Even with the plague, Piva hospitality still means good food."
Purser is just baffled by that story he came up with. Like, it was obviously the slaves trying to raise them.
Is that a common problem in your city? The slaves trying to raise war
Back
spinal
in my
sources?
day, we couldn't walk down the block to go pick up a pack of, pipe tobacco without getting attacked by 7
7 fucking T-Rexes. We stepped out of
sailbacks being raised by those rascal lizard folk.
I stepped out of the house and there was 5 grizzly bears, 2 Titan boas, and a fucking T-Rex on me.
I'm
Eh,
picturing 2 old guys playing checkers over a barrel of pickles right now.
Purser's like, from his perspective, this is just like a bunch of vets snuck some parts back from Vietnam, and they all banded together and built like a tank. Like, it's just such a left field crazy thing.
yeah,
Uh,
maybe. I mean, the slaves here don't seem, that like prone to rebellion. Who knows? But
Especially
yeah,
with the news traveled.
the drow named Tavati Norex Piva leads you into the stronghold, happily chatting about the growing season from atop his mount, which is brought up. Piva Kull is a large settlement built around a old ancient giant plantation manor. The giant-sized structure looms over the slave quarters, which take up more space than the areas where the drow overseers live. So it's like DC. You know what? It's not as imbalanced as DC. It's not 90% slum. It's like 50%, or 60. This gives the town a somewhat grim look, with enormous giant-sized buildings surrounded by a few taller buildings, or surrounded by a few shorter buildings, excuse me, and rows upon rows of low-slung, half-sunken slave quarters. Tavati shows you his own home, and invites you to the manor hall where most clan members have their meals. Local custom dictates the clan head always has an open seat at the table for anyone who's actually a member of Piva.
hmm.
And you're guests, so you're welcome to dine in the hall.
Yeah, Purser's happy to be invited. This is the kind of treatment he was expecting when he came here to Zendrick.
Pick just folds her little hands and doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Like they're very friendly, but there's slaves everywhere. Like this is a way higher slave concentration than it was back in like even in Biapokol, where they were like
Yep.
storing them for sale.
And she hadn't seen her people enslaved before,
Not
really.
in
I
these
mean,
kind of
she's
numbers. Yeah, they're primarily
yeah.
using them for like
Hey,
orchards, but yeah.
Mr. Candy is a great man. He's showing us the town.
Anyways, um,
It is
yeah.
always ethical to kill slavers quietly in heads.
uh, um, but yeah. Honestly, the hall it's almost like a mess hall or cafeteria, with hundreds of Piva clan members, very open floor plan, seated around the many long tables. At the back of the hall, on an elevated platform, sits a drow man who seems to be in his middle years. He looks like someone who's lost a fair bit of weight in a very short time, and has an exhausted, deeply sad expression. Next to
Hmm.
him is a young drow woman who regularly leans over and murmurs things to him, and tries to kind of point out. Basically, looks like she's pressuring him to eat. but she's not getting much of a reaction. Tavati identifies her as Vargan, the clan head's only surviving child. According to your host, she's been trying to keep her father's spirits up without much success. Once again, he's happy to chat about news. Tavati tells your tale, exaggerating quite a bit, like the ferocity of the beasts and the dramatics that they're visiting fellow nobles, because they don't know who they are, but they can clearly tell Lady Wayrub and Lord Olenquai are fellow nobles, and they are using their clan signature weapons. So he's clearly embellishing you guys. All the neighbors are um, politely oohing and eyeing, and uh, you exotic folk, they're asking about details on where you're from and stuff like that. But amongst the small talk, as they're just chatting away happily, um, there is the news you hear that Huan, the clan lord there at the table, has not been attending to his duties, or not very well at least, and there have already been several attempted slave rebellions as a result here in Piva, which it's well concealed, but you can tell that is nerve-wracking news. Everybody's nervous about it. It's nothing good will come of that because nothing's being done to really quell it. So they're like it gets put down, but it's not like they really go after people like obviously they should. So there's a lot of concern overall. And I will put an image up of the clan lord. And the I will say, like, the food you guys are getting it's not necessarily made in a particularly fancy fashion, but all of the food is incredibly fresh and just excellent. Um, very, very good spread here.
Yeah, just like hearty and filling.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of corn-based stuff, both standard and long corn, which long corn is actually interesting and it's kind of overwhelmingly flavorful. And just eating a little bit, just like it really sits in your stomach. A couple people chuckle when they see you guys have some, and they caution you to not eat too much, um, because it seems almost innately magical.
They're on a corn-based diet. These guys are serious.
But there's a lot of other things, olives, dates, some tomatoes, things like that, and a lot of different types of meats added in as well.
I am
Yeah.
100% Bemmy's like dates. Like this would probably be the closest thing to candy he has ever had.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. You've had date
Now I need to
wine
go get
before.
some.
That was kind of sweet.
Now I need to go get my dates.
Yeah, that's right. Dates are good. I love date milkshakes. They're the best.
And they weirdly don't affect your blood sugar as much despite being super sweet.
Yeah. I
But
know they have people, but they do have these too, and I feel
you could.
conflicted.
Pick does not eat it, but she's like, I will go find my own food.
Yeah, Purser's just starving after being on the road all day.
Yeah, and this is it's to your taste, Purser, and honestly to the other drows, this is a little bland. Like this is barbecue in the Northeast. Like they have an idea, but it's not. It seems like they have their own regional differences in dishes. Um, but it's still very good. It's just not quite as hot as some of the other clans do it. Uh, but yeah, it's very good. And like I said, there's some stuff that seems supernaturally or at least magically filling or just flavorful. But once you guys are done eating, I imagine now it's going to be stuck in my head like Cookie Monster or a Nutcracker is how Ludger eats. Once you guys have eaten your fill and turned down like multiple offers to take home like pie or something, um, Tavati offers you the use of his guest house for the night. It's just sitting there. His mother passed, so she's not staying anymore. And yeah, it's like the guest house is not as big as the full mansion that he lives in, but with his family, but it's it's still about 3 times the size of like the farmhouse or cottages that you guys have built back in Mishann.
As much as I can, I'll like thank him for the offer, even though he can't actually understand my words, so maybe some will translate. But we'll
Ludger translates.
Okay.
handle our own accommodations for the night.
Okay. He's not too offended. He's a little caught off guard, but the two like the lord and lady with you explain they're probably bullshitting, but they've been careful not to ask. They just explain it's a custom for for your folk. So uh, that assuages the offense a bit.
We're an odd people.
Yeah, that's literally how it's being explained. Like it's the equivalent of like I don't know, a fucking um Hindu mystic or something in the deep south in antebellum south or something like yeah, it's but yeah, he's willing to take that at face value. Um and yeah, either way, you guys are not attacked. There's nothing shady that happens at night, at least not around you guys.
And I'll cast the tower
Yeah,
like
I figured.
somewhere on the edge of town.
Okay, yeah. In that case, on the edge of town, are you guys doing watches and such?
Not like outside of town, but not like in the center. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, yeah. You're not just like, why is there a tower here type thing, yeah.
In the middle of the road.
Yeah. Um, so
The
yeah, if
equivalent of video games, or you just like set up camp in the middle of a city street and no one like
yeah, their AI doesn't know what to do with it, so it's just yeah. So if on the edge of town, I would say probably Pick and Bemi. I like those are the least sleepy people. Um, and maybe Ludger. At some point throughout the night, you got one or all of you would spot um, a surprising number of lizard folk doing stuff at night. Like, especially since they're all clearly slaves. Like, that's weird. Occasionally, here and there, running between buildings, stuff like that. Um, but probably harmless. Uh, but yeah, other than that, the night goes by uneventfully. And is there anything you guys want to do at night other than a long rest, or just getting ready?
Nah, I don't really have anything to do.
Okay, fair enough. Figured
I
I'd
mean,
check. Yeah, in that
There-
case,
Pick
the
just went out to get her dinner.
gotcha. Okay.
Her stubborn little pick dinner.
So you realize you're in the middle of a farm. Like all you'll be doing is stealing from the fields where the same stuff is grown. There's no hunting out here. It's
She's like, at least I pick it myself.
yeah, that's okay.
They may confuse you as one of their workers if you do that.
No, they don't. I mean, unless she goes into the orchards, but yeah.
and she's not
Uh,
wearing a collar, so
yeah, that would be a point of confusion. Honestly, they'd probably assume she got it off somehow. But yeah, so you're uh you're able to scrounge up some sustenance from the vast fields of grain and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Um, but either way, night goes by without incident, and yeah, the sun rises in this peaceful agrarian little area once again. And you guys can set out if you like. Tavati insists it wouldn't trouble him if you wanted to stay longer, but he understands if you have places to be.
no.
Okay. Yeah, the next morning you set out from Pivocal, heading towards Earnixcull. Now, following the road will take 2 days, while cutting through the farmland and occasional spots of jungle will take only a day, but may draw more attention. How do you want to approach? Because the roads are all kind of designed to head towards the capital, so you have to go this way, or you could just go this way straight up.
Purser would prefer any route that doesn't involve trekking through the unwashed jungle.
Or heavily irrigated fields.
Yeah.
It is washed by rain. Often.
Just look at Pick for a second.
She's not wrong.
Let's say, like, as someone who's had to trudge through irrigation ditches, yeah, that's full of, like, if you're lucky, just animal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Purser just like examines his boots for a second and then lets out a long, suffering sigh.
So yeah, so what do you guys want to do as a group?
Good thing
I
I
also
don't
vote
suffer
for
that.
roads.
Okay, so the Karn and the, the Templar roads. Hick, it sounds like you want to see these freshly washed jungles.
I have no preference. I know you cannot fly.
Yeah, that's fair. It's the sympathy that Hick has given the poor limited people is pretty good, I'd say. Bemi and Balthazar, what are your opinions?
I enjoyed the meal, and then I immediately already forgot. Due to the pain, I already forgot why we're here.
You're trying to get to this point here, Irnixkul.
Skull.
This was just a stop. Yeah. And the question is if you want to take the road, which will take 2 days, or if you want to like push through fields and jungle, which would only take a day, but maybe a little riskier.
And they normally have these fucking dinosaurs out in the woods nearby.
No, they don't. That's why it was a point of concern that like apparently some slaves had brought them in as potential warbounds.
I say let's go into the jungle so we can provoke the Vermintide.
Okay. All right. So one vote for jungle and Bemi.
I mean, I'm happy playing in the mud, but how much of a time constraint are we on? Do we really have to bust this straw? That's what I want to know.
I don't think we are on a big time constraint. I would appreciate if we were back in Mishann in like 40 days, I think it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Within
I
two
think,
months, yeah.
well, Long Night is coming up, or Dark Night, whatever it's
Oh,
called.
yeah. There you go. Hey, nice. Good on you for keeping
Alright.
track of that. I always try to keep track of holidays, and I really fucking forget them for Eberron because there's a lot. um, cool. Um, so Bemi, road or jungle?
I mean, we can do road. If we
Okay,
want to be comfy, we can be comfy.
that is comfier. Okay, so 3 road, 1 undecided, 1 for jungle. So it sounds like road, unless you guys want to party in and do it that way.
No.
Um, okay. So heading out on the road. Yeah, the road from Pivikul to like it originally you're heading towards Alamkus, the capital, and there's a lot of shipments of what look like just food being, slowly hauled along by various pack animals, things like that. Huge wagons full or carts full of food. Um, Not much like coming this direction, and the roads still don't look packed. They're pretty wide, so you could have a lot of things on them, and they're just not that busy. So it still kind of has a half empty look. Think like one of the major, I would say Route 90, but I don't know how familiar that is. Like think a major vein road during COVID. Like there's still vehicles on it, but compared to like the normal rush, it's like this is traffic or this is there's people on the road, but it's not anything like it should be. It's a very specific reference. I don't know if it came across, but yeah. So you're on the road, and yeah, it's about 8 miles up until you reach the fork where it gets wider and kind of feeds in towards Alum Cusp, and then you're kind of going the opposite way for about little, like you'll be really close to it by the time you have to stop for a long rest. Or you could push, it's not a ship. You could push through and take a level of exhaustion. That's also an option if you're willing to do that.
We're not in a big hurry. I don't think we need to
Okay. Yeah, no,
force march it.
absolutely. Yeah, so the scenery doesn't change much as you're going along here. Especially when you consider how much it changes when you've gone through the territory of other clans. Like there's usually a pretty visible difference. Um, Lady Wayrub does kind of explain that a little bit. She says that Irnix directly claims the least amount of land of all the greater clans. They only bother to control the land within a few miles of their clan hold directly. Everything else they split between Piva and Lemq. Um, which, yeah, given that they're wizards and their two lesser clans produce food, yeah, makes sense. But yeah, you guys get not quite within sight, but you do see what looks like a black tower in the distance, only a couple miles down the road. That's going to be Irnix Col. But the night is coming on hard. How do you guys want to set up camp? I imagine tower, but figured
Yep,
I'd check.
we'll just set it up on the side of the road, so it's not in the way because drow moving at night.
Yeah, that's true. Traffic does actually pick up as the night comes on. But yeah, setting up the tower, you get amazingly, most people don't really think much about a tower that wasn't there before. It seems like that's not that exotic of a sight here. So like you don't get any curious people knocking on your door or anything. It's just most of the traffic just kind of sees it, shrugs, carries on. And
Goddamn wizards.
well, kind of, yeah. You're getting close to the capital of the goddamn wizards within this little city-state. So it's pretty much
Wizards.
but not much happens overnight. I will say it's a pretty uneventful evening. Beyond the occasional, I won't say rumble, but you do get like an almost sulfurous whiff occasionally when the wind blows from the volcano a little bit. But you have a surprisingly peaceful night, despite being in the heart of enemy territory, so to speak. And I will say, also, I hadn't commented on it before, but the two drow lords you're traveling with do seem to appreciate your tower, even if like the furnishings you make for it are a little strange. Uh, um, it
Yeah,
is
and
convenient.
I'm not able to make enough beds for everyone, but it's at least a comfortable space, and it's away from the bugs.
Yeah, Lady Wayrub definitely appreciates it. Lord Olenquai seems to appreciate like that it seems more secure, and yeah. Let's see here.
Except the one inside bug.
Ludger doesn't use a bed as he does the classic just resting my eyes thing with like a chair.
Yeah, the dad thing is sits in front of the TV. Uh,
I was watching that.
yeah,
Eyes wide open.
but yeah, the night goes by uneventfully. Sun rises, and you start out again the next morning, only a few miles from your destination. Takes an hour or two. Um, Irnix Col itself is unlike any of the other clan holds you've seen thus far. You spot it miles away, an enormous blood glass tower rising out of one of the volcanic slopes. More details become clear as you get closer and closer. Beautiful groves of whirlwood trees and giant pomegranates surround a wall of solid fire bronze. heat waves rippling off it in the sun. Actually, are you guys approaching day or night? I assume day, but I should ask.
I don't know. What does everyone else think?
Might be more polite to go at night.
Let's see, if you're here for diplomacy, probably arrive at dusk.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and we can spend the day before just recuperating and freshening up.
Yeah, by all means. Fair enough. Yeah, then in that case, heat waves are not rippling off it. It is still warm from the day sun, but yeah, it's cooling down quickly, relatively. Um, tropical. And interestingly enough, if you look up the mountain, or up the volcano rather, it is not as much bare rock as you would think. And neither is it standard vegetation. Um, a lot of it is very oddly colored forests and grasses. Let me describe it properly here. One sec. If that'll open for me. Come on, work. Okay. Did I just find this? There we go. Here we are. It is the it's not it. That's, oh, here it is. Okay. So it is yeah, it is scattered groves of trees with rainbow bark, pastel leaves. Um, you see most of the plant life here seems adapted to thrive on heat as opposed to water. Definitely artificial. Definitely strange. Let's see here.
Hmm. That is really strange.
That is, yeah. May even be like um, plants, mage bred. They were originally from Farina or something like that, Realm of Fire. But I had an actual proper description here, but I can't seem to find it. But anyways, that seems to be the environment as you start going up the volcano. It just seems to thrive off the heat as much as anything else.
They could be from Kithrian stock.
Could be. The giants crossbred a lot of things. The whirlwood trees are absolutely Kithrian stock.
Hmm.
That's like you can just a casual examination would reveal that. But I digress entirely. Heading into the actual settlement. The entrance itself is guarded by surprisingly few figures, less than a dozen drow in uniforms of short tunics and cloaks, about twice the size, uh, and about twice the number of that are strange hulking figures that seem to be made of iron and volcanic stone held together by shifting blue energy. And I will post images.
Hmm.
And I realized I never posted the Piva clan warriors either. I'll put that up. One sec. There it is. Here. You want there it is. Thing with it. Creatures. Assuming I got it. Images. Creatures. Here we go. Okay. And let's see. One of the cloaked drow watches you approach with a bored expression. And you see she does have goggles around her neck. Seems like she's coming off the equivalent of night shift. And says, "You have entered the territory of the Greater Clan Ernix. State your reason for visiting."
I, I defer to the like our two noble drow.
Okay, that's fair. I just wanted to leave it if you wanted
They
to say anything.
probably know the best way of like phrasing this shit.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, Lady Wayrub introduces herself as the technically the leader of a greater clan, as well as the rest of you, and explains that you're here with valuable information for High Lady Irnix. Um, Whatever the guard was expecting, it was not that. Her bored expression is quickly replaced by one of shock before she regains herself and basically asks you guys to wait a moment while she goes back over and speaks with the other guards. After a few minutes, she comes back and asks you to enter, following her.
Follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fire bronze gates open smoothly and silently, revealing something between a courtyard and warehouse district. All of the buildings seem dedicated to storage space. You don't see any homes like in this enormous courtyard. Just these storage, warehouse type things, and then just this enormous tower. Um, the tower itself is built into the side of the mountain, rising up about 300 feet in the air. The foundations are fire bronze, but the rest is made of solid blood glass. You can see the veins of heat tracing through the walls. A surprisingly standard-sized opening allows for entry, um, and you can see several slaves and elemental constructs carrying things in and out of the tower. The first floor of the tower is mostly open space, much of which is filled with food and other goods being loaded onto different platforms. Once the platform is full, um, it hovers of its own accord a few inches into the air before being moved into one of the dozens of large alcoves in the walls. Um, the person moving the shipment says in Ingen, which is a dialect of Primordial, for those of you who speak that, um, they just say floor, whatever, floor 10. The entire alcove seems to glow red before they're pushed upwards at incredible speed from the floor itself. Uh, the guard with you leads you all into one of the smaller alcoves before clearing their throat and saying in Ingen, 20th floor. The entire alcove glows red, and you all feel a muted heat, but not the burning that the color would suggest. It looks like it should be just scalding hot. Um, then the floor begins pushing you upwards as the ceiling above you opens up. Instead of lifts like in Sharn, the tower literally reshapes itself to the commands of the drow. It's more than a bit disorienting, as the walls seem like they're constantly melting and the floor is flowing under your feet. But in only a few minutes, the ride ends, and you're looking out into a sizable room with a few beautiful stone settees set against the walls. The room is lit by magical orbs that give off a white light. It helps, but you're in a place that everything is reflective black glass. The walls and floor are still a bit unsettling until you're accustomed to it. Um, it's like if everything was made of black marble in a solid stone room or something. But the guard goes in, leaves the alcove with you, goes over to the eastern wall, which is largely blank and has no seats against it. She leans in and says in Elvish to the wall, my lady, the guests are here as requested. There's no immediate reply, and she looks a little nervous, but then the wall melts and reshapes itself into a large archway. Beyond it is a beautifully decorated open space that leads out onto a balcony. It could be called an apartment, but it's closer to the size of an entire house, and you can see other arches that likely lead to more closed-off rooms. On the balcony is a garden with a gilded metal table and several seats. In one of them facing away from you is the figure of a drow woman. Without getting up or even looking in your direction, she calls out, "Send them in and go." The guard, who has looked more and more nervous since she got here, gestures towards the figure, and once she sees that all you seem to understand, quickly goes to the alcove and is whisked away in the same fashion that you arrived in. And yeah, what would you like to do?
I look to our two drow nobles, but again, try to do like all the proper, you know, meeting, greeting, like bowing shit that we did in the past with past, like high drow lords, like we did with the, what's his face, the Gwynedd Cole.
Lord Gwynedd. Yeah, that's, I mean, you actually are pretty good manners with that, but neither of them do that, just because she hasn't officially acknowledged you yet, which is, I guess a thing. But they both look a little nervous. Lady Wayrub looks more irritated than nervous, but she also kind of gestures you to follow her as she strides through this, wide open space and out onto the balcony, um, and pulls up a seat.
She pick sticks to the kind of back of the group.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, anyone who wants to sit down or just stand doesn't seem to bother anybody. The drow woman in question looks a bit older, but with elves that's probably a relative term. She's in a simple but beautiful black and violet dress with a single golden ring on one hand and a faintly glowing white gem dangling from one wrist. She says, as all of you kind of come up and mill about, "Sit wherever you'd like, all of you. If you want some wine, just point at the jug." She's still looking out across the balcony at something, but does finally turn to at least glance at you guys.
Point.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as if an invisible servant picks it up, and the wine and a beautifully decorated carafe of water is brought over as well, to mix with it if you want it mixed.
What time is it?
It's like 7:30, 7:45 in the evening.
Oh, then no, we don't need to mix that with water. It's not
Early
breakfast.
morning, yeah.
It's not breakfast.
They typically mix, like here it's weird they mix wine unless they're drinking to get drunk. It's like because they drink it all the time. But yeah, once you've all had drinks if you want them, she kind of looks from person to person, says, "Well, you're looking well considering the circumstances, High Lady Wayrub. I hope you're not offended at the lack of usual niceties, but given that our clans are technically in conflict at the moment, I think a lack of open hospitality from Earnix is probably courtesy enough." Her black eyes flash violet for a moment as she looks over all of you again. Her gaze lingers on Bemmy's black mirror as he's drinking wine. "Now, I was told you claim to have valuable information for me. I assume it's good if you came here. What is it?"
Did we claim to have valuable information?
Oh yeah,
The
sorry. That would have
Was it?
that was the official reason you got in. That was
Okay.
Lady Wayrub. That was how, because it wouldn't just be enough to say I am representative so and so. Technically,
Right.
they're like not quite at war, but in conflict. She said we had information. That was
Yep.
what she said. So yeah, and Lady Wayrub looks to you guys like she believed you when you said you had it, but what do you got?
This is more Pix like quest line. So
Okay.
Fair enough. Let's see. I wish I would have condensed these notes instead of having fucking 25 pages of with
That's
what we've
probably
gotten so
partly
far.
my fault.
Um, okay. We've got the
There's I'm not like timing
Pulsar's
you here. You
plans,
can look
the
look up what
identity
you need.
included. Well, we know that he was probably from or involved with Stormhome on Covert. It will take me a minute. I should have done this earlier and condensed it all.
You're good. You're good.
He was known as Brume, 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 right?
Mhm.
Okay. No, don't copy that. I'm just going to open another Google Doc and try and move it all over.
No problem. Remember, I spent like 10 minutes, what felt like 10 minutes, looking for a description of that I had written somewhere. So you're good. Actually, I'll go back to that. I know it's here somewhere.
I mean, in the meantime, I guess Pig could say, excuse me, cat, that if they were not aware, the people that have come here, and just kind of update them on what is going on
But yeah, so like you
in the
could
new
absolutely
settlement
fill her in on like, hey, we're
in
foreign
Mishann,
and we're from Mishann, and that's could absolutely do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and just kind of give them a rundown that lots of people are moving there. I have so many notes that make sense at the time, and then I go back to read this, and I'm like, oh boy.
42 pillow-sized. Don't trust elf. Yeah.
Yep. Get pointy throw sticks as a gift.
Yeah.
Thick tree, 2 carriages wide. All right. That's super relevant information. Thanks, pass me.
Like I said, I've done that. I'm worse because I usually write out these long, ridiculous fucking plans that like sometimes we follow them, but usually it's just like this is my 42-point plan for taking over the city state. Okay, well that doesn't work. Oh, all right. Oh, fuck. I got nothing, guys.
Yeah, you gotta keep it simple.
Yeah. There it is. I fucking found it. Okay. Reach the rain. Yeah, the forest slash rainforest is painted in shades of crimson and burnished orange. The Forest of Flame is a magebred heritage of the Sulat League, possesses magical resistance to fire, and thrives off the heat itself. Okay, yeah, there we go. Well, that's not very good, is it? Jesus, I looked. All right, whatever. That was the description. Great. Uh, so yeah, if you guys tell her about Mishann, she kind of listens she takes that in and sort of nods a little bit as she's looking from person to person, like clearly the foreign people, and is trying to put that together on how that's. She's sure it's relevant to the impending information. She's just processing.
And then that she was tasked to find the bringer of the plague, and that and promised that if she was going to be able to locate this person and identify them, that she would be able to take the remains of the people that fell to the plague in the north to their resting place in the Swamp of Souls.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is
So like, that's you're starting out with this is why I started looking, and she's a little like surprised that a ghost went to you, but on the other hand, um the Thrycreen to the south are known to be very involved. It's not quite necromancy, but they are deeply tied to death element stuff, so it's spooky, but she's willing to accept that, yeah, you were talking with ghosts. Um,
This one does.
and we had spoken with Caxar of Gelrul. He
okay.
was the originally one that had given us or given permission to the strange priest to do his business in that area, or for the people to establish their
Yeah, he was the one who gave
Mishann.
permission. Yeah, like he was basically they found a drow, and the drow said they said, "Hey, can we build here?" And he's like, sure." Um,
And he'd been given gifts by Broom.
right, yeah. And now that's the relevant part is like he gave you an accounting of when this strange that claiming to be from the mainland person calling themselves Broom um like gave out gifts that the plague spread not long after. Um, which
And
that
then
she does perk up on that information.
kind of the route that we at least understand the places that he's been and hasn't been based on where we've visited. I'm sorry, my cat
Right.
is walking on my keyboard. Excuse me, sir.
You're good. Okay, so it seems like he visited the southern tribes more extensively, and then went to Alum. Like, well, you don't know for sure it's the same person, but it's really suspiciously timed that someone then went to Alum Cusp and said, "Hey, the southern tribes are dying of plague." Um, she probably knew that part, but maybe the connection she wasn't familiar with. And did you have anything else that you wanted to share?
Just the cup that we found of his where it was linked to. I'm trying to find the. He was wearing some type of artifact, it looks, and came through claiming that he wanted to help. He wore sunglasses, but not a lot of people do here.
Yeah. I think
He
he was.
smoked a lot, but the smell was foul. He spoke Elvish with a strained accents, but smoothly.
Mhm.
Um, he went to that strange, scary place that we went to, the hole that was in Tikal, but we got no information on him there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying. Like he was in Telbeck. Is that what you mean? I'm trying to.
I think it says, maybe I misspelled it, but it was Tikal where we'd burned to the giant spider dam on the way there. Excuse me, cat. That's where we met Lud J and oh, that was the people who died. The two people who we were deep in the
Oh,
swamp and there was the scary ghost hole.
okay. Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay. So thing there, and and the name of the place was Stormholm. That was the
Yep.
name of the like place on Corover. That there was it was the equivalent of finding like Mickey Mouse commemorative plates in
Yep.
Madagascar for no reason. Um,
And everywhere he went was a lot of the Sultar clan's priesthood, and they attacked others or killed themselves. The identity had eluded themselves when he visited survivors. He left something in the ruins that was once a village. That was where we got that decanter.
mhm.
It was from the Storm Home on Cover. Sorry, I probably would have it more put together, but I'm just
Yeah, you're good. Um,
pulling what I have here.
okay. Well, that's I think that's about all the stuff you've gotten thus far. I don't. You maybe I genuinely don't remember, but I think that's about it.
I think
Um,
that's about most of what we've gotten.
Yeah, and so High Lady Airnix listens to you with. She's definitely focusing. Like she's actually paying very strong attention to you. Um,
But at least we have a name that he gave, but we don't know if
yeah,
it's, a real name. Hi, cat.
and she
Excuse me.
sets her cup of wine down the moment you mention the plague. Like she was kind of patiently listening as you were going through, and they're from Mishann, and that's like. But once you actually get to why you're talking to her, she actually starts like really taking it seriously. She only interrupts like occasionally to ask for an explanation of, oh, and he's from a place called uh, uh, Karn, and like she asks for an explanation of that or something like that. But um, other than that, she just lets you finish, and then she leans back in her chair, picking up her wine cup again, pouring another glass, watering it pretty heavily, and the silence stretches as she takes a sip. Uh, you idly notice that the wind should be high, or should be high, should be strong this high up, but instead it's only a pleasant breeze. Um, Finally, she speaks again, and she says, "You do know that from what you've just told me, or at least your people, sound the most likely culprits behind the plague." She's looking at the obvious foreigners. I guess it's not that spooky to Purser because he doesn't understand what she said.
I
Pick
Oh,
always
translates.
have comprehend languages up.
Okay,
Oh.
you have that up.
things.
Okay, fair enough.
It just people
Um,
can't understand me.
right, right. But she kind of watches your face as she says that, like all of you. As she taps her fingers on the table for a moment before setting her cup down again. Don't worry, I don't believe it's that simple, or that any of you were directly behind what's happened, and I'm not going to do anything rash before I'm certain. Nothing can ruin revenge like serving it to the wrong person.
They
But
have been helping us try to find.
that's good, and this is pertinent information, relevant to the plague. Strange as it may be, I believe it's genuine, and it may help me make sense of the other clues I've gathered.
Ooh, other clues? She looks very excited.
What do you want in return? I know you didn't come here based on my benevolent reputation.
Looks at the others and asks only in their heads, is there anything else you want? I just want the clues.
I think that's what we came for, was just try and solve this problem and make good allies.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
the ally part. Yeah.
the allied part.
We would
Yeah,
like to seek alliances, but mostly we came for the information that you may have on this. It has been very difficult to get any about Broom.
You're interested in finding out who's behind it as well.
Very much.
I suppose I could share what I've found. Or more accurately, my servants, on my behalf, have found evidence that would point to the involvement of an overlord.
Purser like chokes on his wine.
Does Pick even know what an overlord is?
Probably vague and like I
Big
don't
scary
know.
problem.
Like that is so far beyond what your people really concern themselves with.
Yeah, like I don't know that would. That
They'd
is a little
probably have
outside our
some-
scope.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
There'd probably be some like stories relating to them, but not by name.
Yeah, and they probably get a little confused with like, the overlord of death. Maybe that's related to, oh, the giants used to worship that. No. The
Mhm.
giants worship the like, yeah, things like that. But she will say, the overlord known as Tul or Shaka, or the truth in darkness,
Tul Oreshka.
Oreshka. Yeah,
Reshka.
I will put both
Tooth
there.
and.
There you
Oh,
go.
thank you, because my spelling. I actually got it right.
Yeah, hey, it means I'm close. All right. But that was my big breakthrough. Unfortunately, at that point, I couldn't find anything else, and that was only through careful divination of energies left behind by whoever was traveling. There's certain impressions left when otherworldly beings travel, well, or malevolent beings specifically, travel on, well, our island, we'll say. But with what you've told me, this does paint a confusing but more clear picture.
What
And
kind of involvement?
I've no idea.
Like,
All I know is I could trace some energy tied to that overlord in regular bursts, so to speak. It's actually flared up again fairly bad in the last several months.
in just this area?
No, to the east somewhere. But not the usual infection that happens when an overlord's cult gains affluence, and it tends to leak out. This feels more like a small mark indicating someone or something is carrying this energy about, but they're not spreading it willy-nilly.
How are you? No, I guess I can. I'll just ask in common and hope someone translates. How are you
Pick will
certain
translate.
that it's this overlord in particular?
Yeah, Ludger will translate.
That's fair. Traveled a bit in my youth. Dealt with several overlords, and it became a brief interest. I have a collection here, and she'll snap her fingers, and from one of the nearby uh, shelves come look like about a little over a dozen orbs, each one with a different color and just kind of radiating a little bit of different energy. These provide a good, well, a bit of the flavor, so to speak. You feel this, and if you have the knack for it, you can sense when someone's using energy, like not if they're actively trying to conceal it, but most of the direct servants of the overlords don't bother to hide too much.
So yeah, Purser will just like stroke his chin and nod in understanding. He's like putting all the pieces together.
Yeah, she's gesturing if you want to like go over and fondle the orbs, but yeah, it's
I
the
don't mind if I
I'm sorry,
do.
what?
James Bond strikes again.
yeah, I mean, by all means, indulge in demonic energy, Purser. Like, just give it a good feel.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to do this in the pursuit of evil.
Yeah, each one does actually have a label in it, on it in Elvish, and yeah, like all of them just give a little bit of that. Whenever anyone casts, there's, you can almost recognize it if you're around someone enough. But
Mm-hmm.
these are such distinctive and overwhelming auras that, like, yeah, you can, especially if you had these here as a reminder.
Right.
If you notice if someone was casting this in the next room, you're gonna fucking notice. Like, unless they're actively hiding it. This is just, um, you can tell it's a signature almost. That would be my take on how this helps. And she probably
Okay.
combines this with some type of divination, which she does have a lot of.
So yeah, this kind of first-hand experience with that energy is definitely something that most Silver Flame adherents wouldn't get. So
Yeah.
I'll do what I can to memorize them. I'll even cast Identify on like the objects and the energies just to get more detailed information to work with later.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'll
She's
like pull
definitely
out my
amused
notebook and
as you do
scribble
this.
notes and
Yeah, she kind of sits back and like smiles a little bit as she watches you go over all of it.
I'm like
And
sprinkling like circles of silver dust on the floor and watching the like ambient magic interactions, just exhaustively doing everything I can with these samples.
yeah, she definitely seems fascinated by this and more than a little amused as she's watching Purser do these. Like she stops her monologue to watch Purser work. She seems fascinated. How quaint. But I digress. Was there anything else all of you wanted? Something about an alliance? That would be a tall order.
Purser's like completely checked out of the conversation, so
Yeah,
you're on
she's
your own.
still like kind of out of the corner of her eye watching you and smiling a little bit.
Pick is looking at Purser like happy and like, look at this nerd, and then looks at the Lady Wayrub and Lord Olenquai,
Yeah.
and kind of in their head
Yeah.
is like,
Well,
You're up.
"You're up."
yeah, Ludger would at the very least do an introduction to kind of like stake a claim with the party, but
Okay.
before doing letting the way rub and them do the details. But he
We're
basically
here as
explains,
representatives of like
yeah,
Mishann.
my lady,
Okay, thank
we are, heralds of, you know, uh, a new, growing settlement to the west called Mishann, and we seek to help create an alliance of mutual peace and understanding between, our peoples, and to combat what could be, dangerous, uh, you know, m- schools of thought uh, that could bring misfortune to us all. You know,
you.
uh, our noble friends, Way Rub and Alan Quai, Lady Way Rub and Lord Alan Quai can give you more details, but more than any, while a treaty of aid would be more than uh like desirable, more than anything, a treaty of understanding and peace is something I believe would be extremely beneficial to all parties.
Mm.
Kind of set, not trying to extend too much, and you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
uh,
I get you.
as far as Ludger is concerned, like a non-aggression pact to
That's a
prevent
win.
another city-state from getting fucking, joining the dog pile is a win for Mishan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And anything to so the forces kind of allied, and I won't even necessarily say against you specifically, but the forces allied that against Olenquai and Wayrub are have been kind of put into what's called the Verwick Pact, named
Yeah.
somewhat mockingly after the head of the Nuxavaro clan. Uh, that's his first name. And yeah, the Lady Wayrub and Onquai, or well, Wayrub actually, Onquai doesn't say shit, but um, she kind of chimes in and explains, yeah, you're trying to put a group alliance together to push back against the Verwick Pact because they don't agree with the expansion and they're trying to push through reform in the slave system. Um, and that combined with your explanation of who you are and why you're here, um, Matron kind of listens and then chuckles a little bit under her breath and says, "So that's why the Gwynedd whelp left the pact. I was wondering what would cause him to venture out on his own. It seemed out of character. Now I know. He's agreed to work with your lot, I assume?"
Yes, my lady. Um, we, you know, we proved ourselves to be capable allies, and we're able to come to a mutually beneficial agreement.
And I wonder how that could happen. I'm sure it had nothing to do with that ring that you're wearing. As she quickly glances at at um
Balthazar.
Balthazar, yeah. She's once again sort of chuckling to herself. And here you are trying to get Earnix on your side. Well, I'll give you credit. You're right to come here as soon as you could. Those fools in Alum Cusk can say what they like, but my clan are the truest inheritors of the ancient's will on any of the islands. With us on your side, your victory would be all but assured. The question is, why should I? The information you've brought me is valuable, but you haven't really solved the mystery. I'm prepared to reward you for that, but an alliance seems a little bit beyond. If you want Earnix and our lesser clans to reject the Verwick Pact entirely, I'll need to know what Wayrub and its allies, she gestures towards your group, are proposing instead, and a few favors.
Of course, my lady. Do I get a feeling that would be a good idea to bring up like the troubles in the town we passed through, which is obviously in desperate need for reform?
Um, Go ahead. Yeah, you could give me a. This would be a diplomacy check. Give me an insight check. There we go. That's to insight her and just the general political. Like, it could be good or could be bad. It depends on how she seems like she'll react. Um, you get the feeling if you bring it up tactfully, like don't imply that it's Ernic's fault. Imply, oh hey, the clans under you, you're great, but they're kind of, they're falling apart, or they're having a bad time, or whatever, however you want to phrase it. Just don't imply in any
Okay.
way that it's
Uh,
her
uh,
clan's fault.
yeah. Uh, hmm, Trying to word this exactly correctly. Well, my lady, in these, difficult times, uh, you know, uh, you know, joining with Mishann and the other growing members of our network of uh, mutual, benefaction. Probably not a word, but you know, I'm just spitballing here. That was out of character. Uh, you know, there's, I believe that the Verwick Pact, for its many faults, has one idea right, which is the need for unity in these trying times to help deal with, the troubles that each city-state faces on its, that may have difficulty handling on its own, but can be, resolved closer together. Uh, for example, I can tell that this plague has done uh, innumerable damage to the Silitar. Silitar are the civilized drow, right?
Yep, and technically they're clans, not each one is a clan, so not a city state. Sorry, just interject.
Yeah, to the elves of the north, and it has left many places in a precarious situation. Uh, a situation which is better by working together. While this city, under your watchful eye, has clearly prospered. Even you cannot be everywhere at once, and mutual assistance from the others in this time, led by uh, strong, capable leadership, especially those leadership that you could help provide, would certainly allow for a the you know the resolving of many of the troubles faced. For example, with the help of Mishann and the other growing members of this alliance, we can help some of your retainers with some of their issues, especially regarding uh, their unruly populations. I'd say trying to be very diplomatic in that regard.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, whereas you know, obviously the Verdict Pact would only exacerbate the problem, not solve it. And you know, you know, even a ruler as wise as you would have difficulty micromanaging. Not only the highly complicated machinations of a center of arcane might as this, as well as the wildly different, uh, uh, requirements of, managing two agricultural sectors. I believe with reform and the mutual benefit, benefaction provided by our small but growing alliance, everyone would benefit in a way to ensure that those, uh, you know, especially the heads of the houses that join would, you know, be able to retain their rightful place, if not advance. I'm definitely trying to hint that, like, if she joins, especially as one of early adopters, she
Mhm.
could probably advance her station even more than she currently has. Like,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No need for a roll or anything. That was very good, especially for on the fly. Does anybody have anything else they want to add in there as far as like trying to throw in some persuasion here? If not, that's fine. I just figured I'd ask since that
Uh,
was Scott.
I don't really know the politics game of this place at all. I'm just here because I got invited.
Okay, that's fair.
also,
Um,
we need to have a fucking talk about you wearing literal fucking evidence that we were involved in the assassination
What?
of a goddamn drow lord
What
in
evidence?
front of other drow lords.
What evidence?
so, so he can make it
You're wearing
invisible.
his signet ring, basically.
It's
So
turned so the ring is it's not it's
if
turned. I mean, is
if
there a
she
gem that
hadn't
obviously says it?
if she hadn't turned on, so spoiler, she turned on True Sight when she looked over all you. Otherwise, she would not have noticed that. Um, like to his credit, he can also make the ring invisible if he needs to. Like it's
It's been invisible. Yeah. It's
yeah.
just
There we go.
but True Sight says fuck you to everything though.
That's the problem. Is she literally just pointed out the ring that none of the rest of you could see. So, but okay, so yeah, she listens to that, and she does seem to like some of it. Clearly you have not offended her with any of it, which is a step. You get the feeling this woman is probably not known for being friendly, but um, she says, so your your stance on these things is, first of all, the need for slavery reform is sounds a bit absurd. We only bother to keep house slaves here in Urnix, and I've received messages from the Lord of Piva that the slaves there are causing trouble, which matches what you mentioned. Surely a show of force would be more appropriate than giving them anything.
Oh, my lady. Yeah, at the end of the day, the more you squeeze, the more you hurt the machinations of, uh, the very engine that uh, provides the wealth of your two vassals. So yes, I'm certain you could go down there and you know use uh, you know, awe and thunder to cow them, but to do so would take out of the very bottom line of your very own vessels, which in turns would affect their ability to you know fulfill their own duties to provide give you your rightful share of taxes.
You may have a point. I'll admit I don't have much personal investment, and it won't affect Airnex directly. If reform is needed, I suppose that's bearable, but the concern is the issue with expansion. We already rule these islands for all intents and purposes. We're the only bastion of civilization. I fail to see why making it official would be bad.
Well, a great deal of that lies with, again, uh, one thing, my lady, that I have noticed in my travels across this island is that this plague has led to many empty streets and many empty houses. Uh, you know, just put it rather bluntly, you are spread thin. You know, the answer to you know a you know the answer to a piece of to a pastry with a scant amount of jam on it is not a larger pastry.
That's certainly a better argument than all the nonsense about this curse. We don't even know the parameters for triggering it, assuming it'll still strike in the modern era.
Yeah,
Eh,
especially like out of
may not have
character,
a point.
Luther can hardly argue that's bad. That's why we need to import. That's why we're importing thousands of sirens to our town. But
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
you do it.
No, don't do it. That would be rude.
Yeah. No, she's think like that. She did not expect that argument. She was expecting, and it looked like Lady Wayrobe was herself planning to use the whole, "Hey, madness of crowds might kick in and kill us all." She was not ready to hear you don't have the numbers. Like approaching it from a non-moral stance is also another genuine win. I'll
Yeah,
just give you that.
yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
don't think he cares for morals.
Ludger
That
is
should be more
very
moral.
much. Yeah, Ludger is very much understanding that like poking at the moral conundrum is not the way
Good
to
dude.
go
They don't
with
fucking
any of
care.
these fucking people. Like
They're
he understands that, arguing with facts and logic trademark is the only way
hypothetically
for
speaking.
these people.
yeah. No, like I said, both of those. She definitely wasn't expecting the second one, and she doesn't. She doesn't seem like she feels that strongly about the slave stuff either way. They only have house slaves, and they use elementals more. So yeah, which I guess is also slaves. Um, yeah,
But they
she's
can't speak, so it's better.
that's the logic back in Corvair when all the fucking gnomes do it. But yeah,
Well,
yeah.
except gnomes don't know what kindness is.
We're not getting in there. Okay,
Let's
so
let's not.
so as yes, she says, as far as the favors, we'll say you've convinced me. This one sounds less tiring than your arguments, High Lady. Uh, as far as the favors, I want two things. First, ties in with what you mentioned. I need your oath that Earnix will receive proper official authority with an alum cusp if we side with you. For too long, the clergy has had a stranglehold on power within the capital. I want to return to the ways that were dominant when I was a young woman. Magi should have at least as much control over the realm's affairs as some priest obsessed with the afterlife. Both Lady
Uh,
Wayrub and Lord Olenquine look kind of horrified at this suggestion. But they don't say anything. They just look horrified.
yeah,
And
in Ludger's mind, the way forward on this to pretty much uh technically fulfill the promise, but to avoid like too much stupidity would be checks and balances, but the clergy, the magi, and the actual secular government versus the clear thing where like you have the papal states situation. Uh, but
yeah, I mean, that's probably she
he's
probably just
he's
has in
not
mind
going to
she wants to
outright
replace it.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, I mean, I was about to say Ludger is going to try to, because Ludger was originally just going to be like, yeah, I'm going to just do the warm up and let them do all the talking, and then quickly talked himself into a situation where he's like
Now
making
you
the
want
primary argument, and now it's like,
But to be fair, you hit it out of the park with one of them. Like that was very solid. That was much better than the curse argument that
you
Lady
were the
Wayrub
kid
was
in
going to use.
you were the kid in debate class who was supposed to do the intro and he ended up basically selling it, and now we don't have
Yeah,
now the real debaters is sitting there doing nothing.
yeah, exactly.
yeah, um,
And yeah, for the second thing, she just says, the other thing I want from you is to resolve an issue I'm having with the Lemquick clan. Lady Arada was taken by plague, and her surviving daughter and her nephew have begun a succession dispute. Something I just don't have the patience for. At this point, I'm
Which
tempted to grab a random child from their clan, put them in charge, and disintegrate anyone who disagrees. But those impulses are not the ones that would help either of our clans, no matter how satisfying. I'm
so
not
which
giving you any more authority to solve this, but if you can pick one of them and get the rest of the clan to fall behind them, then I'll consider you skilled enough at basic diplomacy to ally with you. I don't care how you do it, so long as someone semi-competent ends up in charge and the shipment of meat continues flowing.
yeah, I will do a quick comment saying which one would you prefer?
She just says
Mm,
she doesn't care.
It's
Both are
true, but
fools.
is there a true preference though?
No, they're both fools. I don't care how you
They're
resolve
both
it or
alright.
who ends up in charge. Pick one, make the rest of the clan fall in line, and you've saved me enough trouble that I'll seriously consider Irnix joining your little alliance.
I was gonna say
That is
it's an aunt and a son, correct?
It's so out of character. She would give you a quick rundown. It's the like second, no, I think third daughter. No, I have it here. I have it here. Okay, one of the two candidates. Uh, she was the second daughter of the ruling family. Old Clan Head was her mother. Uh, and her elder brother and father and mother died in the plague. The other one is the nephew of that woman, so it's basically cousins. Um, currently,
And just a quick little crash course. Matriarchy stuff is not Drow don't do that in this world, or
no,
it's not.
no, they're just not
Some of
matriarchy.
them do, but not these
It's
ones.
not.
Yeah,
It's not a every Drow does a thing.
for this it has more to do with like what clan you're in and it's whoever was oldest. So they just go off like is the first son okay, the eldest one is a son, all right, that's in charge. Eldest one's a daughter, okay, that's in charge. Like they don't have anything
Do the
there.
second daughter and the cousin are the same age?
Let's see, one is 227, one's 281. So yeah, yeah, basically.
All right, but enough for it. Doesn't matter. Oh yeah, then we're going to see who's best.
And yeah, she has she would probably actually she would probably have her homunculus, which is in the shape of like a um, basically a glowing little doll-like figure made of like rose petals. Would happily explain the details
Hmm.
uh, about any issues, um, or at least they look like rose petals. But whatever, it's yeah, it's different. Um, but yeah, so the quick rundown, and I'll put both names in. Um, first one is this is the second daughter. Um, daughter. Um, she is um, she was never they don't she was always a quiet woman or a quiet young woman, unlikely to say more than she needed to, and famously disdainful of any type of political games that pretty much define being in a clan. Her skill in the saddle was actually rare, even among the Lemquick clan, who their main specialty is raising mounts, and they raise most of the meat animals, meat, leather, mounts. It's not a monopoly; everyone can raise them. It's just they're the ones who do the most and have famously some of the best quality. Uh, she's apparently an excellent rider, even among the clan. Um, she has said that she's against expansion as well as against reform, as she said both would lead to needless death. Although it was hard to get that much out of her. She just doesn't like the political game. Um, her cousin, a drow male, 281. here. What is the thing? Nephew. He is hold on one sec here. Uh, by all accounts, he's a kind of a sensitive boy, especially for a more rural clan. He was there was a little bit of chuckling within the clan itself that he's not very good. He's not very good mounted. Just he can ride, but not well. Uh, he is pro expansion as well as pro reform, believing he just changes what Alan Cuss needs right now. Um, and he's just known for being an excellent conversationalist. He kind of ended up in a de facto position of helping to run the clan. All diplomatic stuff went through him. He's just one of the few people from that clan to have a good grasp on how to interact with other clans. But a lot of people in the clan felt he's a little too weak compared to the other candidate she doesn't say much. She's a good rider, but she has the political acumen of of her mount, basically. So those are the two candidates. And there have already been some armed scuffles over this. It hasn't broken into full on like genuine they're burning down their own clan hold shit. But there have been a few deaths, so at this point it's got to end with somebody either executed or banished. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of different ways to handle it. Tests of skill, debates. Debates might not hold much, but public, in a very Athenian sense, like if you can convince enough people, or just flat out, duels, or you could go in and invade and kill everything you want to kill. Um, all of them, all of those and more are available to you guys if you want to come up with a plan to support one of these candidates. It's entirely in your hands.
As an aside,
Mhm.
Ludger for now would probably favor the former because his attitude is right now, uh, you know, like I imagine that on a scale, if you're pro expansion, you're probably more likely to, want war, especially with the outsiders to the west, aka us. And clan ties clan ties of fealty are obviously eroding everywhere. So, you know, obviously not right now, but Ludger would make the argument, not like hill that he would die on, but he would make the argument of, yes, eventually we want reform for all that, but if they're pro expansion, they may jump ship to fight for the Vervecht pack if they think that's where their destiny lies. Uh, so we versus if they're anti expansion, they're probably more likely to you know toe the line, so to speak. Especially considering it's fairly obvious that uh, Lady Ernex is not super enthusiastic about reform either. Like now,
Yeah,
granted,
that's a fair thing.
If for Slaver Vault, like 5 seconds after the ship because they refuse to reform because they're idiots. Uh, oh no,
Yeah,
the horror that
man,
half of
that
the
sucks.
drow in that town got macheted to death.
That's true.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
But the concern there is that they the half the town gets machete to death. The issue is this is their breadbasket, and for all their idiocy, the drow know that. They're at like Lady Ernix. I don't think it's a spoiler, Purser. You can feel that is some of the most potent magical energy coming off her since she went into this room. Like she is probably a very high level caster. Now that doesn't mean that she can solo a fucking army, but it does mean that if that's what she has, all of the guards you felt were pretty decent casters themselves. Yeah, if war magic comes down on the rural areas, like that's can you say destabilizing in the heart of their fucking city state? Um, but you're not wrong. I was just adding some context there. Is like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's obviously, not a great choice either way, because ideally we want both, but it's clear that, we're going to have to take something of a bitter pill. And right now, again, Ludger has a long-term plan of trying to deal with the whole slavery shit.
yeah,
And in his opinion, if slavers want to be fucking retarded and like jam their fucking stick into like the bicycle that they're riding, it's
yeah. That's fair.
unfortunate if they're fucking retarded and like a lot of that shit happens. But as heartless as it is to say, Mishann has to survive if there's going to be like a long term dealing with the
Mason
slavery
Dixie
shit.
line. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I got
Which, if Mishann, and the best way to keep Mishann survive is going for the one least likely to start shit if put in charge, especially
That's
considering
fair.
they're 5 feet away from the fucking Vervict pack.
That's fair.
If,
Okay. So that's Ludger's kind of take here. I don't absolutely need an answer now, but
oh yeah,
I would like a vibe off everybody if possible, just on so I can know how you guys want to approach, so I can have content for next game. But who do you want to support and how do you want to do so would be my kind of question here. If we're at the end of the session and everybody's kind of fried, that's fine.
Mhm.
I would just put something up and, you know, hey, please vote or have an opinion for who and how, and I'll work around that.
I will
Otherwise, it'll
say
be a
So
really dull session.
the how is hard to say without going there first. Uh,
Yeah, we don't know if the nephew is
because
actually
I
just
don't
the
know
leader
if
or
this
the daughter
is.
is a
Yeah,
monster.
it's hard to say if like going there and we find out that one literally like I don't know is torturing babies, or we show up and trying to figure out whether like okay are we like trying to talk middlemen into just siding one or the other? Are we doing assassinations? Are we like you know being the tip of the spear in a civil war? We can't really say until we're there, but
Okay,
um
I can work off that. I'm not a good improv, but I'll do my utmost, guys. All right, so and
so
yeah, go ahead.
oh, so Purser's of the opinion that we don't necessarily want to put any one group in power. We just need to keep things destabilized long enough that Mishann can stabilize themselves. With the backing of Corvair, the Sulatar cannot stop Corvair,
That's
but we just have
true.
to survive to get there. So we foster our allies, make sure that they don't stab us in the back, and just buy time.
That's true. So just your take, like you're saying, don't bother to get an alliance from the Ernix clan.
I don't think we need anything as concrete as an alliance, just a friendly relationship,
Mhm.
and make sure that none of them get together to take us out.
Hmm. Okay.
But
I
what
think
about characters?
you would need to at least get her to leave the Verwick Pact to do
Oh
that.
yeah,
Yeah. Um.
but we
yeah,
don't want to.
this is kind of one of those unfortunate things where it's hard to just go, yeah, just leave a Fairvex pack and dangle out in the breeze. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
can't
Like,
just say
leave.
it. Like we have to
Yeah,
prove
leave
that
your
our
leave
way
that
is
like
the better
alliance
way.
you belong to for
if
God knows how
if
long, and hopefully no one
if
poaches your ass.
yeah, if anything, we are most of the energy we're spending lifting here is not to get them to join us. It's to leave the old pact.
Hmm.
Because I don't think anyone right now wants to be out of either of the packs. It's just which one they're actually going to actively side with. So we are trying to convince them to leave a strong pact to join our what will hopefully become a strong pact.
You're asking everyone to basically leave NATO
But
during the height of the Cold War.
on the other hand, Ludger will, acknowledge Purser's point that, we would have to wait and see, but perhaps it would be wise to choose a weaker candidate of the two who would fail to provide strong leadership and be short term. That would leave the state kind of waffling, regardless of which side it chooses to, join, to further our short-term goals of, establishing a strong foothold on this island. So that's another angle.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like one has a political mind but isn't respected, and the other one is respected but doesn't have a political mind. So
Yeah, that's a fair boiling down of it.
if anything, even though I just recommended the latter, the former has the benefit of he's going to try to do shit and he's going to get walked over, causing discord, versus the latter, which is she's just going to assign someone to run shit, and there's things run smoothly because she rubber stamps shit, and everyone goes with a rubber stamping. But yeah, we'll have to basically
that
get an
sounds like an
actual
out of session discussion, as far as out of session chance for everybody to think about it, because I know I've completely turned around when I had like an hour or two to think about, hey, I don't want to ram my hand into that wood chipper. So
I think
Come
in the
on.
short term, the best thing we can do is solve the open question of the plague. That will get us on the playing board, as it were. They will then they'll listen to us and at least respect us enough to invite us to the table. And from then on, we can really start making the political plays in favor of Corvaran domination of the islands.
Okay, so
yay!
That's the native. It's great. My friends are helping me figure out what the plague happened. Turns back to horde of Corvarans. Uh-oh.
Hey, you don't need those houses anymore. I mean, so hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, Purser's not malevolent like that. But he does want Corvaran people to take over.
Yeah,
I just
realized
don't want to.
I feel bad about it.
I don't want Pick to live long enough to see the Swamp of Souls get the Avatar Blue people sacred place treatments with the giant bulldozers.
I promise you,
that I will do
never, ever do anything remotely related to the fucking Avatar movies.
Well,
I definitely will, though.
This is a meta perspective, but that won't happen. So,
all right, I'm gonna stop recording for the moment here because I think we're